Yeah, it's the Bennington show. Ooh, chow. I'm trying to figure out the movies that you picked for that, Gail, because you say this week have to have two major movies.
Yes, two major movies, two major scenes
that
this song would have appeared in. Can you think of any?
Well, I know the movie Over the Edge, which that bus scene at the end.
Yes, and that even makes it 3.
Really?
Because I have 2 pretty big ones.
Wow.
In my mind.
Wow. Didn't you just say what? You got nothing, Chris?
First came to mind was Platoon. Is it in Platoon?
Platoon? No.
No, I don't think it's in Platoon.
It wasn't even written when Platoon was happening. How would that fit into Platoon?
That's the first thing that came to mind.
All right, what do you give us some hints at least?
Okay. Both of these films are black casts.
Oh, then I didn't see them.
You have.
Oh, I have?
Yes.
All right, I'll just say Roots.
No.
Let's see the Roots.
One of them is, I think, your favorite movie by this particular director.
So it'd be Mr. Spike Lee. I'll say Crooklyn.
That's right.
Okay. Perfect.
And then the other, should I just give it?
Yeah, give it. Because
the other one is
the right thing.
Boys in the Hood, when the kids are in the back of the cop car.
That's good. That's really sad, too. But you can't hear this song without feeling sad.
I know. Because they say it's going to get easier, but it isn't.
I know that at the time, it's not easy. Things are going to get easier, but we never see those scenes. Like in Over the Edge, which is this kind of a choke up moment, I think, if you're a kid. The whole town is on their way to reform school.
Everyone's in trouble.
Everybody's fucked up, except for that one kid who was waving from the bridge with those 2 hot chicks. That's the strangest named band, I believe, of all time. Do you know the name of this band?
It's Stair something.
It's the 5 Stair Steps.
Stair Steps.
Strange. Let's call some stoop.
Just stair steps are steps or stairs, not necessarily both.
And just 5? Much higher.
Well, there's only 5 people in the band. They couldn't call it the 90 stair steps and then have 5 of them. You got to be very fucking careful with that.
But why are they stair steps?
I mean, I'm still mad at Blink 182 because I figured there should be 182 people.
That is a big band.
Yeah.
Or Sum 41. Those are 3 dudes.
Okay. Chris, we already made the point.
I'm just trying to help.
I don't know what happened during that number time. Who started?
I don't know. It's like
band?
mid 90s.
I'm going to say Maroon 5 started it.
No,
Maroon 311 before that.
Before Maroon 5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 311 was early 90s.
Yeah, but see, I don't have a problem with 311. It's the name and then the number is what I'm talking about.
Like the Sum 41 of the world.
Yeah. Sum 41. Thanks. Somebody finally brought that up.
Well, I did.
Hi, robots.
Hi, robots.
I miss those robots.
Second day in a row, you're wearing maternity pants still.
You know what? These aren't maternity pants. I don't want people to keep bringing that up. I only have 2 pairs of pants. These gray jeans and then black jeans.
That you had when you had the baby?
There's no babies came out of me.
Oh.
Gross.
That's gross. All right, a lot of people writing Guardians of the Galaxy. That, but you didn't see that.
Oh,
Gail.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's only been out for 2 years now.
Okay. So I might never then.
Well, here's the deal with that movie. This is why it's good. You know how we have a galaxy, right?
Yeah.
These guys, they were the guardians of the whole thing.
The whole galaxy?
Yeah. By the way,
sounds pretty unrealistic.
I'll tell you what's unrealistic. The fact that we now have found the greatest basketball team of all time, better than Golden State, better than fucking the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, better than the LA Lakers back in the Magic days, better than the 92 fucking Americas team, Villanova.
It's a Nova Nation.
First of all, that was driving me nuts because nobody outside a 30 fucking mile radius likes that fucking team. Now, Chris, as long as you met me, right?
Yeah.
What do I pick every year?
Villanova.
Every year.
Every single year.
But I'm the exact opposite of a fucking bandwagon person. I just sat there all night going, oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. And then when they finally hit that fucking classic 3 that will be remembered as the greatest ending to any basketball, this is how I fucking just cheered. Ah, Like somebody had taken a fucking truck off my legs.
I lost my shit.
It was crazy. We were going nuts in my house because it was so tense before then.
Yeah.
And we've been there too many times where you feel good about something.
That's
and then
why I
it
wouldn't
gets
let
taken
myself.
away from you. And so, yeah, like the last few minutes of the game, I don't even think we said one word to each other. We were
Why
just
would
sitting
you?
there like as though we were gonna throw up. But it was crazy. I mean, could you have asked for a crazier ending?
No.
It was like the perfect moment.
I was as excited as Jay Wright, the coach, at the end of the game.
Yeah, right.
Who did,
I loved that.
they had to go back and show fucking Rolly from fucking 31 years ago because Jay just stood up. It was like, did it really go in? Are they going to fucking take this away from us?
His
He
face
didn't
was,
give a shit.
yeah. Like the entire place is going nuts and
Yeah.
he's just like, okay.
All right.
All right.
So
that-
it still counts. They give me the trophy. If it counts, give me the fucking trophy right now. I don't want to fucking go up on something. I don't want to cut a net down. Just hand me the trophy.
It was an amazing night.
Yeah. There you go.
I can't even believe it was real.
I know.
It was like a movie. It was like a movie ending. It was so nuts. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even seem like real.
No, it was better than real. It was realer than real. It was the Steelers real. I think if you're going to call it anything. Stuck in the middle. That's the thing about sports that's so fucking crazy is that for no reason you're like, please God, let these kids win this thing.
Right. And not those kids
Not those
who
other
I don't
fucking
like.
kids.
Dirtbags.
And then the Twitter just blows up with crying Michael Jordan, which
Yeah.
he never did cry.
No.
There was no reason for this thing.
But I was laughing because right before that, the other three tied it, and the shot goes to him, and he's just like loving it. He's like, "This is great." And just, for some reason, it made me feel good that he felt some loss in his life.
Why? I found that amazing with everyone. Why did everyone decide last night that we hate Michael Jordan, who wasn't even playing, who was just showing up to see his alma mater like any other fucking graduate? There was no reason for and people were like, look at him with his fucking face. What are you talking about?
He's wearing a tiny version of himself on his own shirt. Oh God.
We just, after all this time of hero worship, we discussed it with him?
Now
Steph
we
Curry's
hate
better.
him.
We all have Steph Curry now.
Yeah, I guess for a while, and then we'll be like crying Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why people even thought that Michael Jordan took it so hard. You know, he probably took it as hard as any other fan. There was all kinds of ex-fucking celebrities from that team, you know?
Jordan especially. Just because he's had so much success on the basketball court. Just to see him,
What?
take a shot.
You haven't done anything. He was watching like a fan. It's like fucking yelling at him at the end of The Sopranos. Ah, your favorite character's dead. We think. I don't know. Probably. I mean, the fucking...
Sort of implied it, didn't it?
Get it?
I don't know. What do you think? Is he dead?
Well, North Carolina gets plenty. But literally, this is the weird thing about sports. I'm watching the game, and I was thinking about 31 years ago when that fucking team won. I went to call my friend Tommy Fermara, and his mom answers the phone. And I get to spend 45 minutes on her. She'd go through the whole lineup.
Oh my
Trying to
God.
tell me, and I'm like, I don't know. That's, Patrick Ewing. She's like, no, listen, these guys, they eat spaghetti together. They go to movies together. This is a team. And she went on and on and on. And so I was literally thinking about her all last night.
Yeah, that you had to. I think it's funny that she just didn't hand the phone over.
Oh,
She's like,
I don't even now think about it. I don't even think he was home. She was just very fired up. And there was a time, and I know none of you founders can understand this, but you had to talk to your friend's mom before you talked to your friend.
could you
Bullshit.
imagine?
You had to talk to another person. Since cell phones, I've never talked to any of my in-laws again. I used to answer the phone, talk to my sister-in-law, and hand the phone over.
Yeah.
That's how life worked.
Yeah.
You'd spend a couple minutes. No. Never.
Direct.
You just go
Never.
direct to the source.
Yeah. And he cut out. I've got brother-in-laws. No, it's gone. Get out of fucking talking to him anymore. Just sit around on some fucking Twitter thing. I'll tweet you later. But isn't it it's like there's an entire generation who don't know that when they're like in high school and they want to date, they're going to end up fucking talking to somebody's mother before you finally say, could you please put Kathy on the phone?
Yeah, and then the funny thing is that you would have to mentally prepare not only for the conversation with the date or the friend that you were calling, but also like who's going to pick up this phone. So you kind of had it in your head already. You're like how you're going to ask for your friend.
God,
and like,
yeah, sure.
You're like, let me just practice how I'm going to say this and not be weird.
Yeah, you got to tell some fucking girl that was crying to her mom, like, no, I've been really busy with, I don't know, history or something. You know, they have this test and stuff at school.
Subjects.
Just lying while you haven't gotten back to anybody in 6 weeks.
Or even like there was etiquette to answering your own family phone. You know, like kids had to answer the phone in a certain way. Your mom would yell at you if you had done it like not in a friendly enough way or something.
My parents would make I would be the one answering the phone all the time in the house because of creditors, and I had to like act like I don't know where my parents are. I was their fucking cover.
Not quite what I meant, but that's sad.
It is
really sad.
Although one time we heard your brother when he was little, and he was like this. She's crying right now. She was fighting with my dad. We're like, what? That's a discussion! We could both go running. Because it was like the only person who wants to answer the phone was the littlest kid.
Always,
He's always like, I got it.
She's crying right now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been fighting. It's real bad. It's bad in here. No, I'm safe.
No, I'm okay. I guess I'll just have cereal tonight. Hey, in a little while, we're going to announce the big Unmasked show. Another big one that we're doing. 8 o'clock at night again. And it's going to be fun for everybody. And coming on right after our show is Emma Willman's show. What's the name of the show? It's
Check Spot.
Check Spot at 3. Who she got today?
Oh, she has a comedian, Julia Rossi.
I don't know you're listening to that. Big Julia Rossi fan.
Me too.
And I'm an Emma fan, obviously. Oh, our friend G-Man wants to sob. Go ahead, G-Man. You got it coming to you, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Sorry about last night.
Hey.
Sorry about the Super Bowl, Till.
I'm just kind of hoping somebody can walk me off this ledge, man. This is 0 for 2.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day.
All right. You know, you're always welcome in the Nova Nation.
It's a Nova Nation. Now, what were you watching it on?
Oh, I watched True TV, the Nova Nation show.
Yeah, because we did not know that was a Nova Nation show. So we were watching on something else first, and then we found out that we could just join the Nova Nation.
Yeah, you could join the Nova Nation. They kept going back to Nova, showing people going crazy.
Going nuts.
Yeah.
It is surprisingly much more comforting to not have to hear, or at least to hear people who are on your side.
That's the worst thing about being a baseball fan. You watch 162 games with your guys, and then they throw you some guys that don't fucking care about your team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? Where's the radio? Where's the fucking radio? Dude, get me the radio. I need someone to comfort me. Oh, was that when the whole place went fucking buck wild?
Yeah, really fucking crazy.
That was great.
I loved it when they were just cutting to people like minutes afterwards who just looked like so stunned, and they would just cut to some dude who's just in the crowd just being like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck. Like they were still in such shock.
Sports are crazy that way. You know how, like, when your team wins, they go and they start fires and they turn over cars?
Yeah.
These Villanova kids, they were just running outside and brushing up against Mercedes-Benzes.
Cat.
Just put a scuff on that. Kind of a rich area.
Yeah.
Radnor.
Very well off.
Yeah, that's old money.
I like new money.
Why is that?
I don't know. They seem like they have more fun with it.
Flashier.
Flashier.
Yeah. He likes money that you wear around your neck.
Yeah.
Old money's too classy.
I know. You like Rough Rider money.
Oh, yeah. DMX.
Yeah.
Eve. The whole crew.
You like when people just wear their money on their fucking teeth or...
Yeah, like a nice grill.
Yeah.
Rainbow diamonds and whatnot.
Sure. I like a big gold hubcap.
Just one, though.
Yeah. Just one rim. Just fucking spinning its ass off.
Oh, a spinner?
Yeah.
Can't get enough of
But
them.
just one. I don't want to see all of them spin. Or put a nice fucking black light under the car and just fucking cruise around that way.
Giant spoiler.
I was actually going to do that, but I was worried that it would come up as the cultural appropriations, which is the new big term.
Yeah, this has gotten a lot of play over the last couple months, but right now the story is that Justin Bieber has dreadlocks. He's got a new do, and he's rocking some dreadlocks, and everyone is upset because they're calling it cultural appropriation.
Well, you know that he didn't do it until that kid went viral. You know, that kid went viral for getting yelled at by the black chick the other day?
Right,
And
yeah.
then the next night, fucking Bieber did it.
Exactly. But I don't understand why this became an issue recently. It's getting a lot of play on the internet. It's a lot of people are writing up their views on it. And I don't really understand it. I think it's a dangerous concept
It's insane.
to say, this is how we dress and you can't dress like this. And this is how we wear our hair and you can't do that.
But-
First of all, if we're just talking about white people appropriating black culture, it's crazy to me that then you're talking about black women wear relaxed hair, they dye their hair blonde, could you imagine saying like, that's a white hairstyle, like you can't have straight hair, that's
How dare
nuts.
you? How dare you wear your
silky.
white hair?
It's crazy. Or how much Asian style gets appropriated or Native American. It's just like, I think it's dangerous to say
course.
you can't appreciate what is good about other cultures when it comes to fashion or style.
You
or
can't
anything
go
like
around
that.
slapping sushi out of people's fucking mouths.
Right, exactly.
Or-
Is that a fucking kimono? Take that shit off.
Well, here's the deal, too. The only time that we ever use chopsticks is with that fucking food.
Right.
You ask for a fork, you're like, like a white guy. Can I get a fork like a white guy? You're considered ignorant when you do that.
Yeah, and isn't to a certain extent appropriating culture the same as appreciating culture?
Of course.
And that anybody who experiences cultures, whether that's their food or their clothing or their customs, is somebody who has an open mind, who's interested in the way people do things.
And they do fuck it up. I mean, if you just go to St. Patrick's Day with an
Yeah,
actual Irish person, they're going, what are you talking about?
I think it causes more harm than good to say only black people can wear their hair a certain way. I think that's really weird because then you can flip that same idea and say that they're not allowed to wear anything that is white or Asian or
Let's face
whatever.
it. You could actually say this. Oh, yeah? Well, then take off those pants. Because that came from white people.
But the weird thing
dumb.
is, the weird
It's
thing
fucking
is,
dumb.
I don't think Justin Bieber is saying that he invented dreadlocks and that it is a white thing. He just is, a white pop star who's wearing dreadlocks. It's a very weird thing.
Of course, it's just nuts. It's nuts to act like. First of all, as far as cultural appropriations, we've always followed black people musically in this country,
Yeah,
all the way back,
of course.
all the way back. So can we have no music? We can have no blues. The weird thing is, black people always give up that thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they invented jazz. They gave it up. They invented blues. They gave it up. They
Right.
invented rock and roll. They gave it up. They're going to give up hip hop. That's just what happens.
It's top 40 now, hip hop. Hip hop is now just top 40 music.
But if you start to use these rules, A woman could use that same set of codes and say, oh, you're trans, you're appropriating what it means to be feminine by walking around, you're wearing a dress, you're wearing makeup. That's my culture, that's not your culture. You can't do that.
That's not my culture and heritage. No, this is a fucking insane thing. It's an insane thing. And I don't know where it's come from.
I really don't know. It's one of those things where somebody slaps a good name on something and then everyone kind of dives in on the issue. But it's certainly a part of a conversation for a long time, but for whatever reason, it feels like in the last year, the term cultural appropriation and the issue of examining, white girls wearing, cornrows is the issue, or white guys wearing dreadlocks is the issue. I'm not sure why it became such a
it's
thing.
Insane because we've always as soon as you had trade, people started to appropriate other cultures.
Right.
It goes back forever.
And it's viewed as a positive thing.
Sure.
Normally you would say this person, he's very culturally sensitive because he is aware and appreciates things that are not of his culture.
Well, remember when everyone got mad at that white lady for going around saying she's black?
Yeah.
How's that different than Caitlyn Jenner? It's the same fucking deal. How come you have to accept one and not the other?
I know that people spoke very strongly about how it's different. And I know that there were a lot of arguments because that argument came up that, just like I was saying, then how is trans the idea of saying that you want to present yourself differently to the world? But they felt very strongly that it wasn't the same. But for me, I don't
No,
see
I think
how...
it's exactly the same.
Yeah, I
think it's exactly the same. And I it's always stupid when people say, Obama isn't black enough or whatever. Just dumb.
Right.
It's fucking dumb thought.
But then to say the idea was that people were saying that your gender identity can be fluid, but you can't have fluid race. You can't say
Why
that
not?
I'm not sure. I mean, to me, that seems crazy. If you have to open your mind to anybody's,
who's the best at that? Hillary Clinton. She's like Zelig. Wherever she goes, she's like, she was at an I don't know the whole thing.
LGBT?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And she's wearing leather the other day. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. You act like you got a fucking kink going on right now.
Me, I'm a leather daddy. That's just me.
Well, yesterday we did Dice Unmasked, which again is great, and everybody's going to hear it later this week. But Don Wicklund came in wearing leather, and so did Jeffrey Gurian.
Yeah.
And they both leathered it up.
When I saw Gurry in the leather jacket, I just started fucking...
Have you ever seen either one of those guys wearing leather inside?
Never.
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't pick up that Jeffrey was wearing leather. That's really funny.
It looked like a brand new leather jacket that he just bought for yesterday. He went out and bought that. That thing didn't have one scuff mark on it. That thing looked brand
He's probably
new.
already taken it back.
Yeah, there was tags on it. It was ridiculous. That man does not wear leather ever.
All right, Rob said this. How many people really need to wear cowboy hats and boots? The hilarious thing is people wear the cowboy hats and boots as they go to concerts and bar nights and parties, which is the exact opposite. That's fucking work clothes, right?
Right.
The cowboy hat is to keep sun and rain off of you, and the boots is because you're walking around through cow shit.
Right.
I'm sure cowboys, when they came into town, got dressed up.
So-
Like, I gotta get out of this shit. I'm looking for a date.
But then when you see country music awards and they're all wearing like tuxes with cowboy hats,
Yeah.
you're like,
Inside.
why are you doing that?
Yeah, there are people too. I don't know whether you've ever noticed this now, is some people now put on their rock clothes to go out. So if they go to a metal show, there's like some weird mesh
Studs.
shirt that they're in, studs. If they go to a punk show, Suddenly they're in ripped clothes.
Yeah.
You're like, is this?
It's cosplay, dude.
Yeah.
Cosplay.
Is this punk con? Is that what's going on right now? Because you're not living that life.
You're a part-time punk, man. You're not living the life.
But you know what? When I go to church, am I just fucking pretending?
Right.
You know?
You're not a
look at
good
me,
boy.
all dressed up for fucking church. Look at me! My fucking tie! Jacket on! It's fucking crazy. Really, the whole thing of that is what everyone should be doing all the time. Like, if you go to fucking Little Italy, you should be like, oh, I'm fucking eating in Little Italy. You go to Chinatown, you should be like Chinese-ing it up. That's the whole deal.
Whenever I go to Chinatown, I wear one of those giant round hats.
Why are you sweating so much?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Oh my God,
It's
Chris!
fucking 33 degrees today.
It's freezing.
You're
I'm still
sweating
wearing
like
my
you're kicking
scarf.
junk.
I'm not. I have no idea why I'm so
That's-
sweaty. I'm a sweaty man.
The most.
No,
I'm
you're
like,
not. We work with you. You never look like
I've
this.
never seen you that sweaty before under your arms. It's insane.
This is horrible.
What? What's and it's freezing
You're sweating like
in here.
someone brought in a drug dog.
Oh, that would freak me the fuck out.
That's always scary. I remember even getting scared with that, even knowing that I had nothing on me. For some reason, the idea of like when the drug dogs would come through, like they used to come through the classes, and,
Yeah.
like sniff everyone's backpack, then I'd be freaking out. I don't know why, but it's just like it was too tense for me.
Man, I can't even believe that you lived in such a world. I never had fucking. I don't even think the cops were allowed in our school.
Really?
Yeah. Everything fucking changes after.
I don't even know why that would be. You're right. Like, why would that be allowed? But there was a once a month thing where they came through, they smelled everyone's backpacks, and then the dogs went down the locker rows.
Did they ever get anybody?
Oh, yeah. Big time, baby.
Jeez, okay. I didn't know we were going to get so hep.
I'm a head cat. What can I say?
You have that at your school, Chris?
Hell no. No, there wasn't. No.
Just you diming out on your fucking fellow students.
Fuck that.
I know who's dealing herb.
Got a locker number.
You sing like a bird. That's the thing.
I know one thing. They open up my locker, they're just going to find emptiness.
Not even any
I
textbooks
don't
in there.
like to fucking carry books around. It annoyed me. Either kept one in the class or I don't have a book.
What are you going to do?
Like, can we share books? Let's share books. Phil? Eric Halston.
Hey, buddies.
Hey,
Drug dogs are the scariest fucking things on the fucking planet. I was driving through New Mexico, had no idea that they have checkpoints on their highways, like every, 100 miles or some shit.
Yeah.
So I'm blazing a bowl, and everybody's coming to a stop, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, they
And
had that
before I
one-
had any chance.
Yeah, that one
I
place in Texas that they busted Fiona Apple and Willie Nelson and any Snoop, any band that was coming through.
Right.
They just fucking would just sit and
That's
wait
terrible.
for
They
them.
see a bus, they're just pulling it over.
I remember this. My school had a drug monkey. Just a little monkey that was running around.
So cute.
The weird thing is, no one else could see it. It's crazy with checkpoints. I don't even like the DUI stops. You know what? If someone's wrapped around a tree, go see if they're drinking. But if they're not, let them go. That's my opinion.
Yeah, if they're not breaking the law, then they must be doing it well.
You see them?
I missed it.
What was that band from the 90s?
Blues Traveler.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Blues Traveler just walked by. Here's Eric. What's up?
Hey, I was, you guys talking about that whole change in personality thing. I was thinking of Adrian Brody and Summer of Sam when he was like a New York guy, but then he kind of went punk and he even changed his accent. Everybody thought he was going sideways.
Well, first of all, that had never happened. Do you ever see Son of Sam?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And when he was acting like he was like from England, and then the whole thing, they played The Who, which is like this huge fucking arena band. It throws me out of fucking Son of Sam every time.
That's weird.
No one in New York fucking just decided that they were a Brit and started talking that way. It didn't make any goddamn sense. Remind me to bring that up to Spike next time he
I
comes
will.
in.
Make a note. Son of Sam, Brody.
And you're acting like you're going to carry that note around with you forever?
I'll put it in the cloud.
What?
Put it on the cloud.
How do you put a note that you just wrote down on the
He
cloud?
can't. He can't.
No,
You're in a fucking cloud right
He's
now.
confused.
Big sweat stain, pitted up fucking thing.
What is going on? Is
Fucked
the
up.
sweatstand's
Seriously.
getting bigger?
Because I keep sweating.
But why?
Did your water break all over your maternity pants?
These are regular pants.
Do you like that Space Pants fucking song the other night?
I did.
No, I'm thinking we need to do maternity pants.
I did like space pants.
Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, Ron and me. I just want to know how the Unmasked with Dice went yesterday, and when's it going to be airing?
I guess we'll do it on Friday.
Friday, too.
And Dice is so much fucking fun, and he told so many crazy ass stories, just one after another, and they were just hilarious. I think his stories, that could be a special right there, because people
Yeah.
don't, you know.
And they were getting crazier by the minute. Like, he would tell one, and then he would top it with the next every time. They
He's
were
nuts.
hilarious.
He's just a panic. And as I looked over all my leather coworkers, just hear the swishing back and forth. All right, our next Unmasked, when's it going to be, Chris?
That's Tuesday, April 19th.
August, you said.
April 19th. That's a Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in
I'm
New York
wondering
City.
if that's going to even be fucking warmer there than this 33-degree weather that you're sweating through.
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Are you looking forward to this one? Because we love to go to the underground. It's the funnest thing. I don't know if are we lined up to do this yet, or are we crashed? I think we might be crashed.
So we'll wait.
Yeah, we're gonna wait. Tony, Ohio.
Hey, buddies, we there?
Yeah.
First off, long-time listener, first-time caller.
What took
You
so
guys
long?
are incredible. I don't know why I never called before. This was much easier than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't quite hear what you guys were talking about, but I know you guys are some Philly family.
Yeah.
I'm going to be coming up there this weekend. I want to know the highlights.
Well, first of all, maybe you'll be there for any kind of Villanova parade. But what you want to do? You want to eat big, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at some steaks with Wiz.
Here's what I want you to do. Write to me at the Bennington Show, and I'll give you some great places. Also, up on the iBang, we still have Doing Philly the Right Way. That's probably the best thing for you to do, because it's got all the real great places in Philly to eat that fantastic food. So it's just called Philadelphia the Right Way. Look it up on the ibang.com, all right?
I'm going to go through those as well and make sure I've hit them.
Oh, they're
before.
unbelievable.
Thank you, buddies.
Yeah, peace. Because Kathleen from the Bronx was a big part of that. And she knows that town now. She might be from the Bronx, but she's living in Philly.
Yeah. Oh, so we've got this up now. If you want to go
we
ahead.
do got it.
It just got
All right, great. So give it the date again.
Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City.
And we're going to be doing an Unmasked. First time in 8 years, I believe. Mr. Jim Norton. Jim Norton. Coming off his successful guest spot on the Bobby Kelly Show.
This is so exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
I can't
We're
wait
going
for
to find out his wants, his desires, his hopes, his dreams.
That's happening Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. You go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
Dice brought him up yesterday. A bunch of the guys who opened for Dice, I got him to tell some of those stories. Because everybody I ever talked to that's open for Dice has some crazy story about it.
Insanity.
Yeah, but it's so funny.
It's the best thing ever, man.
Yeah. And you'll also hear Chris talking about his life a little bit.
Yeah.
He got into it a little bit
some
with Dice.
details.
Just
Yeah.
slightly.
He tried to stay quiet, but I gave him the nod, like, you got to start talking, Chris. You can't make this awkward.
Oh, God. No.
So Jim Norton, Unmasked, Village Underground in New York City. That's going to be a lot of fun. Coming up in a little bit, Mike Zito is going to be here. I think he's got a new album out.
Yeah, it's Mike Zito and the Wheel. His new album is Keep Coming Back. It's available now on iTunes and Amazon. And he's performing tonight at the Iridium at 8:30 p.m.
Why do you just turn into an announcer guy? Why can't we just have a conversation about it?
Just try to get all the details out there.
I know, but why? Why is that the only time that you lean in? You don't lean in any other time.
The best part is that every time this conversation happens, you say, why do you get so weird? And then he's like, just trying to get the details out. It's always the excuse.
Just want to get the details.
Love the deets.
I'm trying to enunciate.
I get some great news for you guys, and this has never happened before.
Oh, good.
But Chelsea Handler's put up some nude pictures of herself.
Oh, hell yeah.
So go over to the iPad.
What?
Yeah. Now, this is, I guess, an anti-Trump thing that she's doing.
Oh, my God.
So she puts up, Trump is a butthole. Now, here's the thing. I know she's doing this as an anti-Trump, but since it's written on her ass like this, all I can think about is her butthole.
Yes.
I can't think of anything else.
Sure.
I forgot whether it's pro-Trump or anti-Trump. I just feel like it's pro-butthole.
I mean, already in my mind, I've cropped out Trumpism, and I'm just seeing butthole right now.
There's a Trumpism?
Yeah, Trump up on the shoulder blades.
Weird.
I hope she puts up, Bernie as the tits later on today.
And then Hillary Clinton has a vagina.
Yeah.
Just get the full look.
And that, who knows whether that's true or not, that statement. Unfortunately, that just made me think about Hillary Clinton's vagina and nothing else.
And her weird future clothes.
That's cultural appropriation. She dresses like Chairman Mao. So,
all right, some people are complaining about the Audible thing. Why are we still in the Audible business? It's nothing but trouble. No one ever says, love the Audible.
No, they only complain.
I dare you to find one white guy with dreads that you don't want to punch in the face based on personality. I don't mind people wearing dreads.
What's wrong with the white dude?
First of all, I hate when anyone comments on any fucking man's hair. It's just hair. I don't give a shit if he's got a mohawk, flat top, fucking ponytail.
Fuckboy haircut.
yeah.
What's that?
That's like Macklemore. You know that dude? It's like the sides are shaved.
Wait, I just told you I don't know Macklemore.
Oh, no,
Why don't we go there?
That's the fuckboy.
But why is it called fuckboy? Because he's...
I don't understand what a fuckboy is. I know that it's a double thing to say, but everyone's been saying fuckboy. I don't understand what a fuckboy is.
I'm not sure either.
And it makes me feel...
Then you shouldn't repeat it.
Yeah, then I thought you know all about fuckboy. I feel like you say fuckboy more than anyone else.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Why don't we do this?
Okay.
Why don't we do like a Chelsea Handler thing and we'll just write, there's no such thing as a fuckboy on your ass cheeks.
No.
Can we, please? Just to get it out there.
I know that's a fuckboy haircut.
But then what makes a fuckboy? Why is that? Why is he a fuckboy? Just for having the hair?
It might be just mean douche. Like you're a douche or a fuckboy.
But why fuckboy?
If I thought it was a fuckboy, I would say twink.
But it's not. I don't believe it's a twink. It's said about straight
It's
dudes.
a heterosexual. Hold on, I know somebody who would know. Cashmere knows what a fuckboy is.
Thank God for Cashmere.
Oh, you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta put on a fucking.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. That was a fuckboy move.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so like a fuckboy is kind of like those, like someone who has a little bit of cooler interest in them, but they're like annoying or they do something that brings you down. So it's like, oh, they're being just such a fuckboy right now. They're not answering my text, but you want them to answer your text.
So normally they're a good person, but when they're not, you're like, you fuckboy.
Yeah, just like a little fuck. Yeah, you're being a little fuckboy. It's more of a state of mind almost.
Right.
Yeah, it's very transcendental.
No, it isn't. It can't possibly be. Because that's an ancient and kind religion. And they wouldn't call anybody
The
a
origins
fuckboy.
date back. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I still don't understand. But then, if that's the case, then why would you have a specific haircut if you're a fuckboy? Like, to me, that means like a fuckboy has to have a certain style that you're like, oh, this guy.
That's kind of like, it's like a fuckboy starter pack. So it's like you have the haircut, then they'll get like a vape, and then they'll have like a band t-shirt of a band they don't like totally know. Okay. And like just like a uncharged phone or something like that. That's a fuckboy.
Uncharged phone. Did it run out?
Funny. First of all, this is the funniest shit ever. I'm going to say charge.
Do you have a charger?
Yeah, please.
Stop,
Don't want to be a fuckboy.
Hey, I hate to be the fuckboy in the room, but
I am such a fuckboy.
That's why I didn't get to sex. Yeah.
Now, do you eventually get to be a fuckman? You know, if you
a fuckman.
part of the fuckman family.
It's like evolution. Yeah.
No one tells the fuckman what to do.
Yeah, only fuckmen are Scottish. Yeah.
Now, here's the deal with you. Are you excited about the end of American Idol?
Now hear me out. I love season 1, Kelly Clarkson to this day. Oh my gosh, yeah. But after that, I kind of faded out because I had a doppelganger moment. Everyone kept on calling me Adam Lambert.
You wish.
I do. I had the highest self-esteem in high school from that. I was just like, oh yeah. I bought leather pants that I could not pull off. And I can't even sing. I was like, no, I can hit a high note, guys. I got it.
Here's the thing. Everyone acts like this.
Now, is that a fuckboy haircut that Adam Lambert
he
has?
Does seem.
That's a fuckboy.
But
Can I
he
tell you something?
partners it with eyeliner.
Adam Lambert is probably one of the most confident people we've ever had on the show. He was in here with Queen. Knocked it like, yeah, there's backup band. He can't get a thing like, yeah, I think, it's doing Queen stuff, but it's my own stuff that I'm excited about. Confident guy. But people forget that was like the #1 show 7 years in a row. We've never had a show like that in history. It's the biggest show of all time. And it is going out with such a whimper.
It really is.
Is Seacrest still the host?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
come on.
man.
I thought maybe he would have.
It's always going to be Seacrest out.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't sure.
Seacrest out.
Remember when everyone just like, what are you doing?
Oh,
Seacrest out.
Even worse than hearing Seacrest out was I watched in an interview how he explained how Seacrest out came about, which was that he was trying to hit his time cue, which like you're broadcasting and someone's counting you down, and he ran out of time.
Sure.
And so he just said Seacrest out.
Yeah.
And he was like, and like the rest is history. Like from there, just like everyone started picking it up. But it's like, no, you started picking it up. You just continued to
did
say
it every week. But that kid never made a broadcasting mistake in like fucking 12 years. I mean,
he's a pro.
It's like probably the hardest thing ever
to
do that job from a broadcasting point of view, because they're moving people in and out and there's instruments moving back and forth. And you never were like, what the fuck is going on this show?
Yeah, he never looks confused. And he always, in all these years, always has like the same energy level.
Yeah.
With like every person he's bringing up, or even when they did those like, what are those kind of pre-show ones where they're talking to a bunch of people and then sometimes they stink.
Yeah.
Like he was always as excited to talk to those dudes.
Yeah.
Through all it was weird. He's a pro.
Everything's fucking New Year's Eve to him. You know what I mean? It's a New Year's Eve countdown.
It's a countdown.
We're all excited to be rocking.
Counting down
Just
to
like
Seacrest out.
Yeah. I remember when people would like leave a bar and yell Seacrest out like it was a funny thing.
Get it? Leaving.
Oh my God.
Here's Ted in Providence. What's up, Ted?
Hey guys, I think I might have some insight into the fuckboy thing.
Thank God.
Thank you.
I think it's a heterosexual girl term to describe a guy that is like fuckable but not dateable. Does that make sense?
I didn't know girls thought that way, though.
I didn't.
I think it's like a new age kind of like feminist thing to be like, like, oh, I would fuck that guy, but
I thought saying someone's a fuckboy is a negative.
Yeah, it's bad to be a fuckboy.
You don't want to be a fuckboy.
This was written to us. Fuckboy. A person who is a weak ass pussy that ain't about shit.
Okay. that sounds closer to what I've understood it to be.
Brad disagreed with Chris Stanley, saying Macklemore has more of a Hitler Youth cut than a fuckboy cut.
Yeah, that is a Hitler Youth cut. I know a couple people who rock that look, and I feel like that can't be fuckboy. That's Hitler Youth.
It's Hitler Youth has become fuckboy.
Yeah, but it's so much tighter than the other ones you've shown. That's got a little Cabbage Patch doll.
They're all variations of the fuckboy, aka the Hitler Youth.
All right, guys, Seacrest out.
Right.
Ryan?
Yeah.
That's great. Got me.
Spider said Bri has long dreads and he's a major dude. I thought he was, but now maybe he just appropriates cultures.
He's an appropriator.
Yeah.
No.
No, he's an appropriator.
By the way, I want to say I have known several white guys with dreads, and they've all been lovely. I've not had one that I was like, ugh, this fuckboy. I don't know. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work it in.
You are.
What's up, my fuck boys? Am I using that right?
Ooh, fuck boy, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, fuck boy, things are getting lighter. It's just a fuck boy, this guy. You know? Like a boy that you fucked. Well, people are jumping all over the Jim Norton Unmasked tickets.
Nice.
8 o'clock. When, Chris?
Tuesday, April 19th at the Village Underground in New York City. You go to theinterrobang.com for a chance of free tickets.
Hi, I'm Chris Stanley. Go to theinterrobang.com for Unmasked tickets to see Jim Norton with Ron Bennington. Don't be a fuckboy.
Yeah, no one wants to be a fuckboy.
Yeah. And if you're not jumping on these tickets,
you are one.
You're a fuckboy.
That's fuckboy status. That's happening Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. Go to theinterrobang.com.
People are saying this term fuckboy has been around since 2004.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's first time hearing about it. Oh, that's Stephen Knight. We haven't seen Stephen Knight since pre-vacation.
I know.
Sad.
Where's he been?
I know.
So did we take fuckboy from the Brits?
Yeah, I guess we appropriate it.
God damn it.
That is a problem.
All right, Liz That's Fire says Bri has dreads. I dare you to punch him. Dare you. Well, don't dare Kathleen. Here's John in Montana.
Hey guys, I heard that the term dreadlock came from a Scottish clan, like way back in the day. The enemies saw them and called them the dreaded locks.
It's pretty cool.
And yeah, so it's a white guy thing.
It just literally feels like we're smoking pot with you, John.
That's when they called it the dreaded locks.
What?
Martha Washington used to make a huge bowl. She was a hip lady.
Little known fact. Most couches are made out of cannabis. No shit, you can smoke them.
Well, time to roll up.
I've got a brand new bong.
This is crazy. How are Bert Kreischer and Mike Lawrence getting a Snapchat show? Doesn't anyone just have a Snapchat show? That's up on the iBang right now.
How does that work, a Snapchat show? The very short episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't everyone who Snapchats has a show? By the way, Bert just did his special the other night, and from what I understand, fabulous. Fabulous. Killed it.
Nice. Love Bert.
Lovebirds.
And Bert.
All right, it's for Comedy Central. But how is that a show?
Comedy Central has like a channel on Snapchat. So they'll give people shows like they gave Bert and Mike Lawrence, and they'll make like short vignettes on Snapchat that stay on there.
Have they started yet?
They haven't started yet, but they'll stay on Comedy Central.
They get paid by the second?
I'm not sure how they get paid.
How many seconds is this
It's like
Snapchat?
10, right?
10. Snapchat's 10 seconds. But then you can like string together videos. It's
Try to put the machine story into 10 seconds. Yes, it's the same thing as we had before, right? With the, what was the other one that was that
Vine?
quick? Yeah, Vine.
Yeah. But this one, they go away after 24 hours.
So you can't catch up on the
Exactly.
episodes.
You have to be locked in on the Snapchat.
Yeah, but then I bet somebody captures it and puts it on YouTube. Am I right?
Everything gets captured.
Hey, Coop says, my kids and I have been screaming space pants at everyone and everything since Saturday.
I thought that episode was really fun. The sketches just got sillier and funnier as the night went
on.
Yeah, I thought like the first initial sketch that they did, I think it was maybe the Winnie the Pooh sketch. I was like, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. And then by the end, those sketches were killing it.
Yeah, they had a very good show. All about tits and dragons.
Yeah.
Which we never play anymore.
I would love to hear
it
it
almost
again.
is like that thing that you thought was going to be a hit and then it wasn't.
I love Tits and Dragons. The show.
Why
and the
isn't it being
song.
played then? You're executive producer of my show, right?
Yes.
Why don't I ever hear? How many times is Tits and Dragons played?
4 times.
So you get 4 spins to it. That's never going to make a hit record.
Never. And now we're in countdown time. I mean, we've got, what, 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks away from Tits and Dragons?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks till Tits and Dragons comes out. Sunday, April 24th.
Cannot wait.
They say this year, less tits, more
No,
dragons.
what? The opposite, please.
I like to see someone dragging their tits around. Stop dragging my tits around. This has Dr. Steve quotes and just says hashtag fuckboy. I don't know whether that's an insult to him or not. Hey, Ryan in Atlanta.
Hey, what's going on, buddies?
Hey.
So my pops used to work at, he did the mornings at this station in Atlanta called Star 94. You may be familiar with it. But anyways, he was telling me Seacrest as this kid in high school would just want to hang out at the station and just learn anything he can, kind of just his own little internship. And I guess there was a tornado warning or something going on that night when he was doing his thing. And he was told not to ever go on the air, speak, or do any of that stuff, just kind of monitor the programming. And a glitch came up to where the announcement wasn't going out. So he had to go on air and give out the warning and basically killed it. And so ever since then, his managers or whoever the manager was at the time was saying, hey, I guess you kind of know what you're doing. So kind of helped him get a little kickstart in getting on air and getting more airtime, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's great, other than the fact that 17 people died while he was killing it.
But he killed it.
Seacrest. Out! So there's a great video up of this boat, this whale watching boat, just fucking pulling into the dock and just hitting it. Just fucking smashing the dock. I don't know why that's always funny to me, but stopping boats seems like more of an art than a science anyway. There's no brakes on a boat. It would take forever to get something up, right? Just watch how quick it's coming in. And all those people are just fucking sitting there like idiots.
Oh, shit.
This is a Captain Ron scene.
This old lady, get her!
Nobody's helping her. Nobody's helping her.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Still blowing the horn. Oh my god.
How great is that, though?
That's terrifying. I can't believe that old lady was so close to getting smashed. Then why does he move that little thing instead of grabbing her and running?
Yeah, pick her ass up like she was a child. Should we break here, Chris?
Yeah, let's take a break.
We get back, our old buddy Mike Zito is going to be here, and he's going to play live for us.
These guys axe. Mike Zito and the Wheels album, Keep Coming Back, is available now on iTunes and Amazon. He's performing tonight at 8:30 at the Iridium here in New York City. Go to MikeZito.com for all additional tour dates.
Bennington.
You're listening to Bennington on Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
I got 1 foot in tomorrow, 1 foot in yesterday. My back is aching, heart is breaking, still got dues to pay. When I heard the call, I said, darkness was the night. And that old man took my hand and brought me to the light. Keep coming back. Give your battle to the blues. Keep coming back. I said, what do you got to lose? Well, I walked the road of thunder. I walked the road of pain. That ego got the best of me, and my life it was lived in vain. When I hear about him, I still hopeless in defeat. Oh, that old man, well, he took my hand and he pulled me out of seat. Keep coming, baby, and give your battle to the blues. Yeah, keep coming, baby. Oh, Lord, I said, what do you got to lose? Yeah, what you got to lose, baby? Woo! Well, I live my life for living, Lord, live my life for love. Yeah, when I get knocked on my ass, I hear a voice from up above. Keep coming back. Yeah, and give your body to the blues. Woo! Keep coming, baby. Oh, Lord, I said, what do you got to lose? Well, keep coming, baby. Yeah, give your body to the blues. Oh, baby, keep coming back. Well, keep coming back. What do you got to lose? What you got to lose, baby?
Mike Zito. Good to hear you, man.
It is good to be here. Thank you very much.
What's the new album called?
It's called Keep Coming Back.
Yeah, Keep Coming Back. Mike Zito's out there. How many nights a year are you playing?
Probably 200.
Yeah, I'll just be sitting around and my phone will go off and I'll just be able to see you in concert every once in a while.
How you found Periscope?
Yeah, follow you on Periscope. And I'll just see you just ripping it up somewhere. The next night you're ripping it up 300 miles away.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how long you been on the road? When did that all start for you?
Well, I started playing in bars and clubs in St. Louis when I was like 19, and I'm 28 or 29. No, I think I hit it heavy on the road about 15 years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still like it, or?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's good. Sometimes, today the tour's a little more, I kind of get to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bonus. I don't always have to do what I have to do. So it's fun. Tours are kind of tight. We're like here this week, we got 2 nights in a row at the Iridium, right in Times Square. So that's a great gig. So we're kind of doing cool stuff. And I try to get out and make it fun and keep it lighthearted.
Yeah, so you're just not sitting around in a hotel all night. all day waiting for that gig.
I mean, there are times when that's what
Yeah.
you have to do if you're in Poughkeepsie or other towns.
That's that's the dream, though, don't you think, Gail? Being on the road, playing music.
Yeah, certainly
is the
it's-
ultimate dream.
Yeah, it's certainly the dream that everyone else romanticizes, and
Yeah.
then whether that's in
Whether it's true or not.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And there it is, romanticized. That's funny. I think probably 2 years ago, I realized that I'm living the dream. That sounds really corny,
right?
But it's actually happening. Like you still have this romantic thing that something great is going to happen, and it's going to do something, and sometimes that makes it frustrating. And about 2 years ago, I was like, no, I think this is it, and you're doing it. And a lot of people wish they would know what you were doing.
Yeah, it's true.
And I totally went back into it with just being really excited about it.
I always remember my original dream was to not work in a factory. That was the thing, like to not be in a factory, to get out. And now there aren't even factories left.
Right.
So I feel like I've outlived them. I feel like at some point I have won something.
You did.
Yeah, I destroyed the economy.
What was your worst job, though? Like, what's the worst physical job?
Any physical job was the worst job for me. I mean, I would not be, I wasn't a guy who would be able to last. Like, you'll hear some people like, oh, like I knew guys that would actually go, like you ever go past an oil refinery and you see those things? I knew guys that would be lowered down in there to scrub them out,
Oh my gosh.
And
we're surrounded by oil refineries in Southeast Texas. So
that's the same way I grew up.
The worst job I ever did, and I only did it for 2 weeks, was we sprayed sealant on parking lots, on blacktop parking lots in subdivisions, middle of the summer with
Hot
full
as hell.
jumpsuits.
Yeah.
That was, I never ever thought that I would have to put like a whole jar of like powder down my ass.
Right. But I don't know.
And you have to.
Yeah. Is there any place on the planet that's hotter than Texas in the summer? And then you add asphalt to the mix?
Yeah. It's not good.
No, that's hell. That's literally hell. Like roofing, like people.
Roofing, right.
Is just like, I don't know whether it's because you're closer to the sun, but any of those kind of things, like if there would be a construction job and they were like, all right, you're going to learn how to do, and I'd be like, God, really? I'm going to be training. And they're like, you're just carrying block back and forth. And by lunch, I'm like, okay, listen, I don't even want you to pay me, but I'm not carrying block. I'm just leaving. I'm just not staying here and being part
I
of
roofed
this.
for, I swear, half a day in Key West.
Yeah.
One time. And the guy fell like 9 feet and got back up and was like, all right, come on. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's
just
over.
doesn't happen, man. It's just it's such fucking tough work. And then people act like, oh, I'm roofing. You're like, no, you don't fucking understand. That's badass.
Yeah.
That's badass work to do. They're the true heroes, not
Don't
the
get in
troops.
fights with
I don't want to say
roofers.
that. Oh, no, never get in a fight with a
No,
roofer.
no.
But I can't imagine a roofer's woman because their fingers. You know what I mean? Their finger, you can't want to be touched by that. Chris, you're looking, have you ever worked a job that you regretted?
I did janitorial work for a while, hauling trash.
I had no idea that.
Yeah, mopping floors and hauling trash when I was younger. That was
a great smell.
Hot garbage is great.
Hot garbage will be your new nickname.
Perfect. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually your work that you turn in now. Hot garbage.
It's the pukiest smell.
It's disgusting. There's
Yeah.
garbage juice just leaking out everywhere onto you. It's fucking awful.
Well, how about people in New York? They'll just fucking dive into that stuff to take some cans out of.
Oh yeah, that's really fucking crazy.
Well, no, I mean it's it's what they're doing for food. So I never want to sit and try to like put the cans in a different place. I'm like, no, I want somebody to get this can for themselves. Get whatever they want out of it.
Nickel.
I'm not going to rip that fucking person off while I'm saving the earth. Let them save the earth. I make some money doing it. I'm not going to do somebody else's job for them. You want to plug, Chris?
Mike Zito's in studio. Mike Zito and the Wheels album Keep Coming Back is available now on iTunes and Amazon. Mike's performing tonight, 8:30 p.m. at the Iridium here in New York City. Go to the iridium.com for tickets and go to mikezito.com for all additional tour dates.
You are hired.
Yeah.
Hired.
Yeah.
What a radio voice.
It really is, isn't
really
it?
tight and clean and
it's more
beautiful.
of a radiator voice than radio.
I felt bad I didn't bring him smokes today, and he looked at me. He's like, "That's bullshit, man."
Is that right, Chris? You expect our guests to bring you?
I usually do. I bring
Yeah.
like something, cupcakes or
Yeah.
smokes. I felt bad though because I think one time I brought like a Simpsons like a marijuana pipe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a Homer pipe where you
Yeah,
smoke out of his
whatever.
head.
And did you?
Eventually, yeah, but when I brought it home.
So, yeah.
Not here at work, though. No.
I didn't mean as soon as you got it. I didn't know that was a confusion moment.
Oh, eventually, yes, it
Yeah.
was used.
I think writing music is probably the most romantic job that we have. I would actually, I mean, novelist is probably the best thing that you could do in the arts, but writing music to me is like,
And there's,
shit.
I feel like you can wrap your head around that. Like if you were to imagine that you could write music, because there seems to be instant gratification, like it happens and then you immediately get to listen to it. Whereas the idea of sitting down and writing a novel is like, well, that
yeah,
could
that's
never happen.
impossible. Writing a novel seems hard.
Can't be
but
done.
if you think of a guy writing music, you honestly think it takes 3 minutes to write a 3-minute song. You're like, what could be easier? If you had the talent. I always think it's amazing that so many people who write unbelievably great songs also write really shitty songs. I think that's the most phenomenal thing. That you could sit there and feel like superior to Paul Simon. You're like, what the fuck did he write that for?
Yeah, this is
That's a
not
piece
good.
of shit.
Paul McCartney, too.
Yeah.
Some of it is.
Oh, plenty of it.
Really
plenty of
corny.
it.
Well, do you know who John Hyatt is? I mean, John Hyatt's
Sure, unbelievable.
pinnacle songwriter.
Yeah.
And I did get to meet him, and he said, I said, man, where do you get all these great songs from? And he goes, well, they're just the 10 or 12 good ones out of 150 really shitty songs that I wrote. He said, I just writing all the time, and these are the ones I could bear to let other people hear.
You think those great songwriters write every day like that, though?
I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think real songwriters do. I consider myself a songwriter by means. Like I need to write songs.
Mm-hmm.
I do try to write songs when I have time with 5 kids and everything. But it really comes down to it's time to make a new record maybe next year, and I kind of start getting my ideas together. And when I was younger, I would just write songs and kind of collect them. But it seems like now they have to be a little more purpose-driven, like what am I doing? What am I getting ready to do?
Yeah.
And I'll start working like a year out and start collecting songs and maybe try to get 20 or 25 and then pick the best ones. I don't ever think that I'm the greatest songwriter or anything at all. It's kind of meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
But it's honest usually is what I'm going for.
Well, the blues has that tradition too, right? Of, of just being variation off a couple of things, whether it's really happy boogie music or, good shit is falling through.
Or is it really sad?
Yeah. It's not like you go, I've written this song about science and gravity. I hope everyone has. What? You stepped out. Well, I just saw John Popper was in the in the hall as you were walking by, and I'm like, same gig, those dudes.
Yeah, he's out doing it still.
Still out doing it, man. I see he's on one wheel, But nobody, I don't think anyone really quits the mafia, once you're in. You're in.
And that's what's cool. When I see, they had a hit. They had. They were big there for a while, and maybe they're not as big as they used to be. But he obviously is doing it because that's what he loves to do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
It's not about we were going to make it or something. He just continues to do it. So I always think it's great to see him that they've carried on.
Yeah,
I think music also is like more than any other type of creative endeavor seems to keep people young in a way that I think that even unlike other types of writing or, I think that music has an ability to do that. And I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I had read this article that the youngest, the healthiest profession to have is a music conductor, because it has both the passion of music and the love for music that keeps them very youthful, and then cardio.
Upper
Exactly.
body cardio.
So if you combine those two things, like the love of music.
Also, a guy who swats flies and wears earbuds.
There you go.
There's not a lot of drugs, I don't think, in musical conducting. It's not as big a scene there.
I do see this, though. I see a lot of drummers breaking down as they get older. See a lot of drummers like, what did I do that? Everything hurts now. All right, Joe, you brought this up the other day. You said songs that could be a hit when?
in any decade. Pop songs that could be a hit in any decade.
I don't know if that's. I think that you could say from like the 50s to the 90s, but
Right,
it gets
in
weird
pop.
after that, right?
Yeah, it would have to be within the real birth of pop music, which I would have to say you can't go before the 50s because like the style changed too much.
And
but
the
there are
style
songs
changed after, too.
Yeah, but there are songs, I think, that even if you changed the instruments, if it was less electronic, but whatever, if you took that same bass argument, I think that at least to the 50s, you could find songs that you would be able to appropriate. Like, for example, there was that song, and it's like, whatever, you can think it's a bad song.
All right.
But you remember that Call Me Maybe song?
Call Me Maybe.
That song, I swear to you, if you reimagined that in the style of the pop music in the
Right.
50s, early 60s, it has that perfect simplicity
Right.
of just like a girl likes a boy.
Well, that's always the amazing thing, to be that song. There has to be enough that people who are non-musical can connect right away.
Right.
To be a hit, you know? And that's the weird thing that I think like Lennon and McCartney had. That little kids will just start to go, oh, I get this completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get this completely.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, I think it's going on. I mean, they use 80s music still,
right?
Def Leppard songs to like dance beats at the clubs.
Yeah.
There's still not a night that they pour some sugar on me is not getting with like a new mix version,
Yeah.
you know. But going back further, like 50s and 60s, you know, I mean, there are like the Alabama Shakes and Sharon Jones, and maybe it's not absolutely pop radio,
right?
Where they're doing like stack stuff and 60 sounding stuff, and it's pretty popular again. It's just not. But I agree with you. I don't know that anything is popular anymore on the radio.
Yeah,
that would be a whole other argument.
It's a different. To me, it seems like it's a different feel. What did you have, Joe?
I had Seven Nations Army by the White Stripes because that was kind of like rooted in blues, and that's kind of been.
I always like when you're like watching like a soccer game in England and everyone just starts doing. That's all they have.
But that's the thing. If you have that one hook, and it almost seems like the simpler
Right.
it is, the better.
Right.
Because you're tapping into something that's kind of, I don't know, there's something kind of caveman about it, and you know,
Right.
you're able to connect to it on that level. It almost seems like the simpler it is, the better.
Right. Well, like the guitar riff to Every Breath You Take. Just that little lick, you know.
Yeah.
Got put in the P Diddy. Is it P Diddy?
Yeah.
Sean.
Pity. Now he's pity.
It got put in his song and was a hit again, and it gets, you know, if that riff comes on right away, they can use it for many things.
Yeah.
And you know, the guy never got paid. Like the argument on that is that's one of the most money-making songs, and Sting. They had a big fight over that tune. So Sting owns the tune, and they sample mostly the guy's guitar part, and he doesn't get any.
That always happens,
cash
right?
for it, right?
Well, that was that thing from Motown where the guy who came up with bum 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 is not the songwriter,
Right.
And that's the fucking hook. Like anywhere in the world, you start to fucking play that My Girl thing, and everybody goes, you know that song immediately. But that's not considered writing. That's why Levon used to get so mad at Robbie Robertson, because Robbie would bring in a song that was melody and lyrics, and you know, it pretty much sounds like a nice folk song, and then all those guys would jump in and arrange it and put all that crazy shit in, but that's not considered songwriting.
Yeah, it is. It's a good argument. And
Yeah.
In a band situation, there has to. It's you know the history of it is horrible. It has to be decided somewhere along the way before, or it's going to happen in the middle, and then the band breaks up or whatever.
But that's kind of what happened with the band. They're like, you know, we really did write a lot of those songs with you.
Right. Those guys from Motown, I mean, they really got the.
Oh yeah.
They just got paid their wage to come in, and here's a tune. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And they wrote these great hits. It kind of makes you think, though, like you mentioned, there's little hooks, little things that we all know. But do we just know it because that's the thing that they played?
That's what I'm always.
There's a whole bunch of great little hit hooks out there.
Right. That's
just didn't
fucking
make
the
it through.
confusing
Yeah.
thing, right?
Right.
Like, are we brainwashed by like were like, oh, this is a great song because you heard it when you were 7.
Yeah, so much of music has to do with memory, that sense memory thing. That it's why I think people tend to hang on to the music from their youth. And you're much more likely to go appreciate, let's say, new movies or read a new book, but you're like, this is my music.
Why,
and
though?
it identifies. I think it's because for whatever reason, when it's introduced to you when you're young, you build those connections. Like it's like memory, that sense memory thing. I think it has something to do with
there's an
that.
there's emotional contact with the music that brings back a memory in your synapses back in time when you're first making out with the chick and Guns N' Roses on the radio and it's a whole thing, and I think too, people listen to music obviously most when they're in high school and teenagers and stuff.
High school and college.
They go and get into the real world and get married and they don't keep up with music anymore. And look at the Guns N' Roses tour, right? It's going to be the biggest thing ever because everybody my age is in the 40s and 50s.
Sure.
Now their kids are growing up and they got money and they're going to go out and spend it to go see the same.
But they're going to say it in a fucking stadium.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's the crazy thing
right.
about it. You're going to be you're like, I haven't been to a concert in 15 years. Then you're going to be sitting in a stadium hearing that muddled sound. And you're like, there they are.
That's it.
That scream. I was trying to, when we were talking about jazz last week, though, it's like mind blowing to me that my father, a trumpet was the sound of his era. The trumpet was the sound.
Yeah.
You're listening to a guitar. Who were the guitar slingers? And now that same thing, a kid is driven by a laptop. You know what I mean? A kid today. And that's strange. And that has to have something to do with the time itself and not the song and not the instrument.
Right. That sounds are actually mimicking things maybe in your worldview, like the things that happen that are part of the fabric of the way you are, you think maybe.
Yeah, or something with each generation or every couple generations that the world has changed in the way people, because I remember like hearing some of my father would be playing music. I'm like, why is he playing this dumb shit when there's so much great shit? And now I go back and listen to it. I'm like, this is fucking unbelievable.
Right.
This is great.
See,
but at the time I couldn't do it.
My kids, they have iPads and Mac stuff, so they can pull up GarageBand, and they do it at school.
Yeah.
Right? So they pull GarageBand up, and my daughter will go like, hey, look at this song I wrote. And I'll listen, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty incredible. But she has no idea what she did. She just copied and pasted this, and then did this, and put this here. And it sounds like music. And so I want to be supportive, like that's creative. But she has no idea how to play the instrument or, why that goes there or anything. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And it seems weird, but you're right. We didn't have a computer in front of us. If I wanted to play music, I wanted a guitar because you're right. Guitar was the instrument. So I had to get the guitar and then I had to learn to play the guitar. So they're learning. They have to learn how to do it. They know how to do more shit on there than I do.
Yeah.
On the computer. Is it musical? We had this argument. I've had it with guys in my band. Is it musical? I mean, I guess it is at a certain point. If they're writing music and songs and it's honest, or I don't know. It's really weird to me.
Yeah, it is strange. It's like there was a huge generation who thought anybody who plugged in was skipping and turning music into machines. They're just like, that's not music.
Yeah, when Muddy Waters come out and had electric guitar, I mean, they booed him at the folk festivals because he wasn't playing acoustic, because they thought this is not blues. It's not American tradition. You're plugging in. You're selling out. What is this?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, he changed everything.
Yeah, now you're just like, well, that's the most organic music I've ever heard in my fucking life.
And when when I learned to play guitar, I taught myself to play guitar. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, if you asked me what note is it or what chord or what key, I didn't know. I learned those things as I went along. So I try to look at it the same way. Like I see my daughter and I think, man, I don't think you have a clue what you're doing. I mean, it seems like anybody could go on there and do it. But she's doing it.
Right.
She's creating music. She's interested. She keeps doing it. So
Well, I don't know. There's these shows now that people just sit up, they hit their fucking laptop, and 50,000 people
concert. I know.
are jumping up and down.
Synced up with fireworks.
Yeah,
Oh my
well,
God, he's so good on that laptop. Like,
Well, now where's he going? He's going to get a drink? Leave the laptop,
still
though.
playing.
Don't take the laptop.
And are they getting like chicks?
Oh, yeah. Chicks are crazy about it.
are they getting chicks with the laptop? What is is there a move?
I think as long as you're standing in front of people.
To me, the whole idea was always to be in a rock band because then girls would like you.
Yeah.
Because I was a dopey kid. I don't know. I guess being good at the laptop, is that hot?
That is
hot?
I mean, I guess anything that would be in a position of power
right.
and creativity is going to be viewed as attractive.
What about a bank robber or a kidnapper?
Yeah, that's pretty hot too. That's pretty hot. I don't know what it is about him, but I like him. But yeah, I mean, for the same reason that
because they're on stage is what you mean.
Yeah, like for the same reason, Mozart was a heartthrob.
Of
you know
course
what I mean?
he was. If I could know that.
Yeah, so
that dude had everything happening at the time. Like people were like, "Shit, this stuff is next level."
Yeah.
Mike Zito's in studio. Mike Zito in the wheel.
Hey,
new album, Keep Coming Back, is available now on iTunes and Amazon. Mike's performing tonight at 8:30 p.m. at the Iridium here in New York City. Go to theiridium.com for tickets and go to MikeZito.com for all additional tour dates.
Maybe it's time to hear another one of the songs. You're always bragging about how you play and write your own music.
So I was thinking when I was coming in, because I was like, all right, well, what am I going to do? One song or two songs? And my first thought was like, all right, so should I do something bluesy, uplifting, or sad? Those are the choices.
That's
it.
Those are your three bullets.
I was like, well, I wonder what they want to hear, because are we going out on sad? Should we go out on uplifting?
No, we're in the middle.
We're in the middle.
We're in the middle right now. Yeah.
So you want to go sad?
Yeah,
it's pretty sad.
It's real sad.
It's pretty sad.
All right.
Just saying.
Is this a song about a dead kitten?
No.
Okay, good.
No kidding.
Then I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, let's go sad.
I left my baby standing on a porch in the rain. They thought that they would see Daddy, but all they saw was pain. I tried to pull myself away from the jump. My little girl cried, and I was drunk. Well, I kept blaming women, friends from the past. Yeah, and drink turned to hard stuff, and bad turned to worse real fast. And I gave every dollar we had to some street dealing punk, while my family worried about me. I was drunk. I never got more than I bargained for. Lord, I never came out on top. Well, I quit if I could, but my will wasn't good. Once I started, I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. I fell in love with a girl who didn't know I was a fool. Yeah, then she fell for my lies and my charm till I found that bar stool. Well, I loved her so much, but I couldn't get out of that phone. Yeah, she married a good man, and I was drunk. Well, she's gone, she's happy. Now I'm drunk.
Mike Zito.
You want a tissue?
You know what? I got to tell you this. You could get sued by Chris Stanley right now for stealing his life story.
I should say, I wrote that with a good friend, songwriting partner of mine named Anders Osborne.
Yeah.
From New Orleans. He's a great songwriter, one of the best. So,
and that's like we were talking before, that is a traditional song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Really, really traditional, but a song that literally has to be listened to over and over. You know, like Shakespeare, those stories kind of get retold,
right?
You know, but as long Johnny Cash would have loved that song.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Well, I always feel I'm certainly not setting a trend or doing anything new.
Right.
Just try to keep it honest and doing things I like. And you were right earlier. I mean, even if it's not in a stadium or whatever, I mean, there's nothing more gratifying than writing music, liking it myself enough that I want to share it, and then going and playing for 100 people tonight and having someone come up afterwards and go, "Oh man, it's a great song," or "I really like that," or whatever. It's nice to know that there's an outlet that I can go do it. So that's what keeps it cool.
No, it's great, dude. It's just great, man. It was fantastic. Chris, do that the thing that you
oh yeah,
thing is so good.
Mike Zito's in the studio. Mike Zito and the Wheels album Keep Coming Back is available now on iTunes and Amazon. Mike's performing tonight 8:30 p.m. at the Iridium here in New York City. Go to the iridium.com for tickets and go to mikezito.com for all additional tour dates. And on Twitter it's at Zito Rocks.
Tell me that the white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only.
The white zone is for loading and unloading passengers only.
Wow, what a voice he has.
Really
what
good.
a voice he slurs.
The voice.
Yeah. By the way, I noticed when you were singing it, Joe, you were looking off in the distance there.
Yeah, I was really picturing everything. Yeah.
Were you poignant?
Were you thinking about your dad?
A little bit. Yeah.
Where he is?
Dad?
There was that kid.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Drinking, drugs, it's fun.
Yeah. For a while.
And if you can live through it and write a song about it. Or
then you got it.
I got to tell you, I really love the show. It's great. It's tight. The new studio's great.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little disappointed, though, that you didn't invite me to be on your show. Maybe to be the Bennington and Mike Zito show.
There was a lot of talk about it for a while.
Because I told you how much I enjoy this. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But I understand your daughter's doing a great job.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. She's funny. It's a great show.
But I just thought, I'd be like, I just think if we did this every day, I'd be like, are you singing again, dude?
How many songs does this fucking guy got? Jesus.
This is a song. I was always, my father used to have a beef with guys on the piano who would say this term, and then I wrote. And it would always annoy him. And I was like, what? The guy wrote it. Why can't you appreciate it?
Everyone know.
Was he found it braggy?
Yeah, he felt like he was sticking it in our face.
All right.
I've done some things with my life as well,
Hey, can I tell you, you reminded me of this earlier. My dad was born in 1922.
Yeah.
He was 50 years older than me, right? So he had totally different. Like he was really into big band.
Yeah.
And into Sinatra and Dean Martin and, crooners and stuff. So I can remember being at Sears. It was 1978. And I was buying Kiss Alive 2 for my birthday with the double
Right.
live album. And we were standing in line and he's got it, and he turns it over, and he sees Gene Simmons, like, with the blood. He goes, Jesus Christ, what the hell's all this with the damn blood? Jesus, what the hell is this you're buying? We listen to this? And he asked, he's like, should he be listening to this shit with the blood? And so we went home and put it on. He had, like, the big console, right? Yeah, there it is. Yes. He was so freaked out. And I put it on the console, and we got maybe, like, into Detroit Rock City or something. And he just came over, scratched the needle off, and, oh, this ain't music. And he pulled out Sinatra, and he goes, oh, that's music, damn it. And I was so mad. And you're absolutely right. Now I go back and listen, I was like, yeah, that really sucks, doesn't it? It's really not good. Yeah. Sinatra was way better, wasn't it? Wow.
Well, that's you can always imagine, it's like, what was Sinatra thinking? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yes, right.
What is this shit?
Like, can you imagine just when the Beatles showed up? He probably thought, like, what are these punks doing?
Well, imagine what the skills that you had to have to play in Sinatra's band,
right.
Whether you're in studio or traveling, and then these guys suddenly turn on TV, and there's guys that have been playing the guitar for a year, 2 years, 3 years, playing a couple of chords.
Which I guess is probably similar to looking at electronic music and saying,
you're right.
This is not significant to me, but maybe that's just because that's the way music goes. It's for, new music tends to be for the young, and that's the way it moves.
Well, it's really, as far as popular music is always, even Sinatra was aimed at 14-year-old girls. When when he started, there's always, those little girls have always gone out and bought not only the albums, but posters and dolls and whatever goes along. So every record company has always aimed everything at them first.
Yeah.
It's stunning when you think about. By the way, have you seen Vinyl? Have you watched?
No, we were talking about that last night. I got to see it. Yeah, because Dice is good at it, right?
Yeah, Dice is great. Dice was what's odd to think of has been the peak of that.
That's what I heard. Rick Rubin had an article. He said like the scenes there with him were as good as it gets.
Well, Rick Rubin, produced Dice's album. I think it's the only comedy album that he ever did. There's another great mystery to me is what a record producer is, because none of them seem to work the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like every time you hear like one guy like co-writes the songs, the other guy does arrangements. Rick Rubin seems like he just sits there and says, you can do better. You know what I mean? Like whatever thing that he brings to it.
Well, I've done some producing just in the blues world, but it's certainly not. There's definitely different kind of producers. There's a guy that comes in, is kind of there for support. Like, that was pretty good. I think you could do better.
Right.
Or, hey, it's a little long. Why don't we cut this here or whatever? And then there are, like, producers, which I assume Rick Rubin does, like, where maybe someone comes in, an artist like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And they have a whole new vision for them.
Right.
We're going to record you, but I'm going to take this and we're going to go back and put all this new music around you and make it like a, really create a different artist altogether.
Yeah. I honestly, if I'm going to listen to Cash now, I listen to that stuff when he was old more than I do back when he was young and strong and his voice was beautiful.
His voice sounds killer when it's old, man.
It just breaks your heart. And like, I heard him sing songs that I never liked. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But, because it's like, if you could read my... And I'm like, I thought I hated this song, but it's fucking great.
Right. So there you go. So is it what's good then? Is the song's good or the artist is good? Or
I think the artist has to somehow. Well, like when Joe was just saying that I was sitting there picturing it, right? That's the thing that the artist has to do. He has to do the same thing as then when you're locked into a great movie, you have to somehow believe this thing.
Right.
Now what always kills me is how can Jeff Beck just do that without saying anything? You know what I mean? Or, when Chet Baker or something, if you want to go back, that thing where you could just listen to something. Like, how can there be sad notes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right,
how can there just be a note that just breaks your
or like a
heart?
chord change that just like
D minor is just the saddest of all keys. It makes people weep instantly. Simple lines.
Yeah.
Intertwining.
It's called the Lick My Love part. The thing was, it's true. That song sounded fucking great.
I know. He's actually a really good musician too.
Yeah, he is.
All those guys are.
Well, I saw those guys. I think it was everybody from Spinal Tap with Lenny and the Squeak Tones when I was younger. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I didn't know who Chris Guest was or anything, but he was playing with Lenny and the Squeak Tones.
Awesome.
And I was weird enough to go to a Lenny and the Squeak Tones.
Big Laverne and Shirley fan.
Well, to make this even fucking weird, so we were in this little club called the Bijou Cafe in Philly, right? So I'm there. We're sitting there with our 2-drink minimums, and I look over, and my friend who just passed away last year, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he's got this huge bag of fucking Coke, and he's just fucking going down the hit. I'm like, hey, let's all fucking enjoy this, right? So I go in and fucking fill my nostrils, and I kick back and just got hit with this fucking PCP rush.
Oh, shit.
Because the music... I just fucking sat there staring at Lenny and the Squeak Tones, fucking just tic-tacked in the back of my fucking head. And it was one of those things where it just felt like I was sitting there for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like time has just fucking left completely.
You weren't at a Pink Floyd show or you were
Lenny and the Squeak Tones, barely being able to move and not understanding the weirdness.
Mike Zito's in studio. Mike Zito and the Wheels album. Keep on coming back.
So why are you doing that voice?
Is available now on iTunes and Amazon. Mike's performing tonight, 8:30 p.m. at the Iridium here in New York City. Go to the iridium.com for tickets and go to MikeZito.com for all additional tour dates.
He used to have really long hair, remember? And he would have
he was
jersey
cool.
on.
Like
a
cool
hockey jersey or a baseball shirt.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
Look at
thing.
him now.
He got a dad look without even becoming a dad. There was no reason for it. You're still living alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically living Zito's song.
Oh, yeah.
But you could be a dad, though, anytime you want.
I don't want to be
You
a
have
dad.
the wardrobe.
Adopt a child.
He also,
They want to
you claim that there's something wrong with your sperm, right?
Yeah, I don't believe my semen works. So if I were to become a dad, I'd have
Maybe
to.
adopt a nice
He had
17-year-old Vietnamese girl. Or
unprotected sex for what, the last 8 years?
Yeah. And even before that, I mean, wasn't using condoms.
You never once even pulled out?
No, I
What?
it's not as fun.
B.B. King said in his book, he said, after he said he had 16 kids, he said, I like to leave it in.
I gave my baby 7 children.
And now she wants to bring them back.
That's one of the great lines of all time, man.
Absolutely. I was playing some blues for my wife the other day on the new Buddy Guy record, which is won the Grammy. It's great album. And it's called, the name of the song is Backup Mama. And in the song, he says, I got a backup mama, and she lives way across town, and I give her a call when mama number 1 ain't around. My wife goes, what did he just say? She goes, that is some ghetto shit. And I said, no, that's blues. She's a rock chick. So then I put on Brick by Albert Collins, and it was Brick, baby. That's what I'm going to put upside your head. Really, how misogynistic and just horrible can you be? And they talk about rap or whatever. It's like, man, come on.
John Lee Hooker was threatening and
totally.
Don't want to shoot you right down. You're like, why?
I'm going to murder my baby.
Well, it's good to see you, man. What kind of song are you gonna take us out on?
We'll do a high note.
Good.
I think that's probably the best thing. Thank you very much for always
great to see you, dude.
So great.
So nice to meet you.
It was so nice meeting you.
It's a pleasure. All right, so a high note. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I've been down this old road before. I
know exactly where it ends. Yeah, nothing good's gonna come out of this. Just a light heartache that I can't mend. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my mind. Drawing lines in the sand. Well, it's a dying man's game to worry about the things that might have been. Yeah, it might have been. Get busy living. Get busy living. I try, Lord, to change my world. But maybe my world's good enough. Stop fighting everything and everyone. Show some trust. Just a little trust, baby. Some days I forget everything's alright. While working hard to find my sweet paradise. Though I don't forget the rain, how it used to be that pain down in my dark old sea. Get busy living. Get busy living, yeah. Come on, baby. Got one life in front of me, and the good Lord has set me free. Well, I'm gonna shed this skin, baby, let love begin before it's too damn late. 'Cause I've been down this whole road before. I know exactly where it ends. It's time to give up the blame, Lord, and play the game. And know that I know I never win. Get busy living. Get busy living. Get busy living, baby. Get busy living.
Zito. See you next time coming through. It's the Bennington Show.
Call into Bennington now at 844-ROCK-GOD. Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
Hey, it's the Bennington Show. The next Unmasked is Jim Norton. Head on over to the iBang. Tickets are going super fast. What's the date on that, Chris?
That's happening Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. You go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at those free tickets.
Now you want to hear something exciting? Tom Cotter is in studio with us. How are you again, my friend?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. And is that really exciting? Let's be honest.
It is exciting.
Thank you.
You know why?
Why?
Because America has talent, but you had more talent than most people in America.
Than all the other people, just not the dog. I'm over it.
That's the thing.
Chris, don't you snicker over there.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
But it's true. You know, what do they say about kids and animals in show business? You
Never follow them. Can't follow them.
Can't follow them. W.C. Fields was always said that he wouldn't do a scene with him, but then he was constantly in scenes and bitching about it. But you've got a book out right now.
I do.
Bad Dad.
Yeah. Bad Dad, A Guide to Pitiful Parenting.
Now, you have how many children?
3 that I know of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And don't feel like you've been the best dad.
I think I'm okay. I think that this book is not to be taken seriously. If you're at the Department of Children and Families, please turn off your radio at this time.
Just imagine when you get divorced and Bad Dad shows up.
When. Truer words never spoken.
I want the people of the jury to see Bad Dad.
Wow. I really have kind of sunk myself with this, haven't I?
Yeah.
The courts. That would be sad. Yeah, it's if you're a born again Christian or a devout Muslim, this is not the book for you. It is not to be taken seriously. It's filled with mock parenting advice.
Well, I don't. Gail, would you say you had a bad dad? Be honest.
I would not say that I had a bad.
Good answer.
Chris, would you say that you had a bad dad?
Yeah, I had a bad dad.
Really?
Yeah, I had a bad dad. Yeah.
Really? Your dad.
You like that? You like to party? You like that junk?
See, the thing is, most of us, our dads drank. Some people's dads smoked pot.
Yeah.
Your dad did heroin.
Yeah.
That's an actual bad
That's
dad.
a bad dad.
Yeah.
He stole. He was arrested multiple times. He was a bad dad.
An actual bad dad.
Yeah.
Joe, how would you consider your dad?
He was a great dad.
Do you think so?
Yeah. He would come to games, watch
Why
me
is
play
that so
basketball.
important, by the way?
Oh, please.
Why is
I
that
know it
important?
seems very important to young men.
Yeah,
Either the being at the games or the not being at the games seems to be a thing that gets brought up a lot by adult men. Either they were at the games or they weren't at the games.
You're not playing for your dad. You're playing for yourself.
I mean,
my bad dad came to the games. It's a fucking train wreck.
He was jacked up on heroin.
Yeah.
He did come to games, though.
At least he was there.
Wasn't too bad.
Sponsored the team. They were called the Nods. The Historian Nods.
The syringes.
I'll tell you, because I coached for Little League for a little while. There's a lot of times that the kids would cringe because their dads were at the games and the shit that their dads would say.
Yeah, it's their behavior at the games. I
Yeah.
just wanted my dad to be present, But
you wanted them to watch.
yeah, I didn't need to yell. He didn't know anything. I wrestled, because my height, you wrestle, you ride a horse. So I wrestled, and he didn't know anything about wrestling. So he certainly wasn't going to say anything. I just wanted him there. And he went to one wrestling match in all of my junior high school and high school career. One.
Did you win, though?
That one, I got away with a victory on that one, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I did a lot of wrestling. Of course, now they call it date rape. But I did a lot of that back in the day. It's a lot of fun. Tights.
Now, the thing is, you don't want your dad to go in the backyard and watch you play. Why is it that when you put on a uniform, you want your dad
Because this
there?
is official now.
Yes.
We like you there for official business.
Where is he?
But the idea of your parents being around when you're just playing as
Yeah.
a kid was horrible.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
felt like you were being caught, like doing something weird.
Well,
If you
because
were,
you know
like,
you're acting stupid.
right, you're being silly, or like, God forbid, you're playing pretend of some sort.
Tea party.
You're just like, I don't think this is an actual tea party, right? I just want to make it clear.
You look up
using
and
my
your
imagination.
parents are looking at you sipping an empty cup.
I'm not crazy.
Which, by the way, is just acting anyway.
But that's different than an organized team event where all the other kids have their parents there, and their parents show up with the van and the Kool-Aid after the show and the
Right.
snacks, and your dad is absent.
I like that you call the game the show.
But that's weird that you do that early. I never really thought of it, but that's something kids are doing that early, where you're comparing yourself to other people. You're saying that kid's parents are there,
Oh, yeah.
or I don't have a dad, and my dad can't be at the game, or whatever that thing is. People do that all through adulthood, but that starts very young, where you're saying like,
I guarantee you, the kid whose parents never showed up was considered cooler by the other kids. Because it makes you look like a rebel of sorts. You're on your own.
I remember going through the phase of just trying to see if I could figure out a way to just seem like I lived on my own.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, there's a part where you're like middle school, you're like, yeah, I don't have a family. It's an apartment. I'm going back to my place.
Yeah.
You're just like, you just want to seem completely emancipated at 12 years old.
If you're like 11 or 12 and you're walking through the mall with your mom and you see a girl from school,
Oh, you're
it's
mortified.
like having your dick out. I mean, it's just humiliating.
What is that, your mom?
You have a mom? It does seem embarrassing.
Yes.
I remember one time we pulled up at this 7-Eleven and I was sitting in between my parents in the front seat of the car and saw some girls from school, and they saw me and they laughed because they did not think I would be the type of person.
Just sit in between mom and dad?
I'm like, I'm not going to ride bitch. It's just the three of us. I should not be forced in the back.
You got to skulk down below the dashboard then. That's how you
I just wasn't prepared for the horror of seeing another attractive 13-year-old knowing that my parents existed.
But then eventually you go back to being normal again. Like, no adult would be embarrassed to go to a place with their...
Oh, I was always embarrassed to be seen with my kids, you know?
That's nice to say.
Yeah, I mean, you're
She's
gangly.
right there.
But she,
This
you know,
is my niece.
yeah, she went through... This is my neighbor's kid.
DNA test.
Yeah.
Right there on the spot.
I remember I always introduced you as my daughter from my second marriage. It was just a way of keeping everybody on edge, keeping everybody ready to do a good job.
Tom Carter's in studio. Tom's new book, Bad Dad, A Guide to Pitiful Parenting, is available now at major bookstores and on Amazon.com. And you can see Tom perform this Friday, April 8th at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. Go to thewilbur.com for tickets and more information.
Sweet gig, dude.
It's fun.
Sweet gig.
Love it. That's where I started.
Is that right?
Yeah, I started in Boston, so... Great comedy lineage up there.
It's the best, actually.
Someone said that, and I always thought that, but then someone compared the Long Island guys, not in Manhattan, but the Long Island comics is quite an impressive list.
All right, let's go through that list. You got Seinfeld.
Financially, Seinfeld's the syndication deal was $500 million. Ray Romano's was $600 million. You got Eddie Murphy, Rosie O'Donnell. They're just money wise. Kevin James, his syndication deal is ridiculous. Out there, who else? Chris Rock, I believe, is from the island. I'm missing a bunch of people now, but there's a bunch. Jackie the Joke Man, and there's a bunch. The other side is on our Boston. We have Leno, Stephen Wright, Louis C.K. most recently, Billy Burr, Joe Rogan. Dennis Leary. I mean, it's impressive. It's just not as financially successful as the Long Island guys.
The thing is about those guys are from Long Island, but there was never like a strong Long Island scene. Here's what works about Long Island. You get the suburban life, right?
Yeah.
And you're connected to the city, so you can be seen by agents. You're not some hardcore New Yorker who's doing jokes on stage, maybe killing in the Lower East Side. But then the networks look at it and you're like, we can't use these people. You know what I mean? This is terrible.
What are we gonna do with this guy?
Yeah, but you look at Ray Romano and Jerry Seinfeld, and they're like regular guys. They grew up nice and
Kevin
everything.
James,
Kevin James, nice guy, knows how to be. And you can figure out, we can put him in a sitcom, you know? How are you ever going to put Belzer in a sitcom?
Right.
You know, they had to finally get a cop show. Well, you're saying Ray Romano's syndication deal was bigger than Jerry's?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Because his show translates better in Israel and in Brazil, because it's the mother across the street, it's that stuff. The show about nothing, which was Seinfeld's show, was very popular, just didn't translate well into other countries as well as the Ray Romano show.
I had no idea of that.
That's what I heard. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I heard.
I guess everyone does love Raymond.
Yes. In every country.
Was that the last big syndication deal too? I think I don't know, because there's so many different places they get it now that you have that one big fat giant deal.
I don't know either. I bet Mike and Molly, which is about to come to an end, I think, I bet they're going to get a great deal because they've been on for a number of years.
Yeah, they have, but they never were the number one show the way I think the other two were.
True.
But Molly's already a movie star.
Yeah. I was surprised at how long she continued to do that.
Yeah.
Considering, her movie career just took off.
Yeah, man.
And she was like an overnight movie star, comedic
She's actually
movie star.
more of a movie star than she ever was a TV star, I think.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think she is hysterical. She was on Fallon last night, and I'm not a big fan of the lip sync battle they do. She killed it. I mean, my wife and I were crying in bed watching it. She's just so funny. She stole the movie where they go on the bachelorette party, whatever.
Yeah, it's Something Girls. It's like,
stole the movie, I thought. And she's just,
Have you seen Spy?
Yes, I was underwhelmed.
That really, I thought she was amazing in that one.
I thought she was really good. I hadn't seen it until just last week, and I was by myself. It was like one of those things where, when you watch something when you're sick, and you're just like you're so ready to just like throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
So I was like by myself, laying on the couch, just like crying, laughing.
I think that she and Paul Feig have that Blake Edwards, Peter Sellers thing going, where it's like a director and a comedic actor that just are in sync somehow. Because I think they just slay it. The one that she did in Boston, Heat or whatever that was, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. She stole Bridesmaids, though. That was the movie, I thought. And she's just so funny in everything she does.
That was her kind of breakout role, right?
Yeah, but she had a TV show before that, too. She was on one of those, like, Gilmore Girls. So, I mean, she's pretty much succeeded at everything she's ever touched.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, that's the hardest thing to do, is just do well no matter what you're doing. You
And
know?
for a female in comedy, it's tough. And, I'm married to a comic, as you know, so I used to poo-poo that when they'd say, please, there's no sexism. But it really is hard for a woman to get up there and, we can be as vulgar as we want, but a woman can't, because half the audience just shuts down. And so I can get up there and talk about my junk and people giggle, but when my wife does it, they get all frazzled. So the parameters within which they get to work are much more narrow, I think, and so it's not fair. It's not a level playing field. But she can, in the movie Bridesmaids, she has a bowel movement in a sink, and it's the funniest thing.
It was hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
But so you definitely think that it's the audience. More than it is any performer or any background or, because
I think it's society. I think society is uncomfortable with a woman in charge. And when you're on stage, you're kind of in charge. And I've never done a formal thing, but I mean, how many of the really top female comics I wonder if there's a connection, are lesbians, if you think about that. And I'm not going to name them now because some of them would not prefer that. But if you think about it, a lot of the big touring female comics are lesbians because I think they just get up there with a low give a shit factor. They're just, doing their thing and they don't care. Whereas women, I think, are all, I can't be too pretty, but I want to be pretty on stage.
Right. Or
I don't
the
want
idea
to
of
be
doing
undressed with their eyes. And
then crass material is, if you're working with material like that, I think there's this idea for some strange reason that if a woman doesn't, work with that kind of either language or sexual subject matter or whatever, then she's just fluffy and it's nothing. But then if she does, it's hack. And I don't know why it's decided that when a woman is being crass, like for some reason specifically, the stereotype is like, oh, female comic like joke about their period as being like crass, which is just insane because that's funny to women. Yeah. It's just one of those things that if it's not for you for some reason, then it's hack, as opposed to, oh, that's just not for me.
I always think it's ridiculous when an audience uses the word hack. It's like, that's not for you.
Exactly.
That's not for you to decide.
That alone is silly.
Yeah. I think it's really weird that here we are, 2016, and we still sit around and discuss whether something is appropriate for, black people or white people or, we were just talking today, they get into this cultural, what do they call it? Cultural
appropriation. Cultural
appropriations, which in a weird way, by what you're saying, even now the audience may even look at it as, look, a woman has moved into the man's role of being in charge of the room. It's bizarre that we're still thinking that way. And yet we do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You really do. I think a lot of times too we make mistakes. I'm watching the basketball game, and they do this in football. But anytime they throw it down to, there's always some young, pretty woman
on the sideline.
Yeah, just struggling with what she's trying to say before she throws it back. I'm like, why do we force that position? What is that even about?
Yeah, when did that happen? Because that had to be, in the last 20 years that was decided
I think at some point they're like, we need to get some women in this. Yeah. So put them on the sidelines.
Some eye candy.
Right. Make sure they're attractive.
Yeah. Now, Chris, for you, is there anything that makes you nervous to see a woman in that position?
I don't like the period talk. That's a little weird.
I was talking about a job.
Oh.
Like, is there any position? Because I'll say this. I feel like I'm okay with everything until I see Airline Pilot. And then there's just something in my DNA.
Like something inherently sexist that you can't get rid of.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but I feel like my life is on the line.
I'm not even sure I've seen it. I'm not sure I've seen.
Yeah. When they come on and make the announcement, I'm like, ooh, can I get off? That's not right.
It's me. I realize I'm not involved enough for this. Is there a guy with you? Is there somebody up there with you? Immediately. Now, do you think Hillary runs against that, or we're so used to her by now that it's not even going to feel like a glass ceiling if she wins?
Wow. That's a good question. I don't know. she's under investigation. There's all kinds of
Right.
stuff going on now. So I don't know why she didn't. Everyone thought she was going to run away with the Democratic side of this ticket, and it's just been anything but. In fact, I think she may not win Wisconsin now. They're saying the latest thing I thought.
You know,
So-
it's up north, so she might not win. They don't hate Jews as much up there, so if she was running for the Democratic ticket in the South, she'd be up like 92%. Yeah, but she gets up north and she can't win. But here's the thing about that too that's so strange. I don't know why it's taken the FBI so long, because if they would have acted sooner, there'd probably be 12 more Democrats running. As many people would have run on that ticket. They just thought, well, the Clintons have got all of the money. They're, they kind of owed it from 8 years ago, whatever that party thing is. But they're just, if she gets busted and yanked in, they've just handed this to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
It's an amazing position.
A
he's found himself.
74-year-old socialist. Who would have thought that was going to happen? Please. It's the most bizarre field of candidates that I've ever remember in my entire life.
It is.
It's scary.
It really is. I mean, if you don't care about the country, it's hilarious. You know what I mean? The people who care if the country goes on, they're panicking. But everyone else is just having the time of their life because it's just a funny, stupid movie that is real. You know what I mean? Like this thing, like Robin Williams did a movie years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah. That's how I feel when I watch Donald Trump.
Or
It
the
just seemed
Manchurian
like
Candidate. Remember when Robert Redford says, what do we do now? You know, I mean, what is Trump going to say? If he gets it, he's leading everywhere. He may lose Wisconsin too, but I don't know. It's scary. I'm running. I decided I'm running.
You might as well, Tom. You're just as good as anybody else right now. They used to say anybody could be president, and now I'm thinking maybe. You know,
Can we really be worse than the current field? I don't think so.
Is there no one that makes you? Even the other people that are don't. None of them make you feel safe. Like, well, at least I know this guy's not going to jerk the wheel so hard that he turns this thing over.
A month ago, I said I wanted Biden to come in on the left, I wanted Romney to come in on the right, and I wanted Bloomberg to come in as an independent, because those are three people I could tolerate. I can't tolerate the rest of this field. I can't. Kasich, I don't know that much about, but I hate Cruz. I don't think Trump is electable, and I've been wrong every time I've said that. And, I'm not a big fan of Hillary because she's under investigation for this thing and everything else.
She's wearing a knife on her ankle right now.
and socialism is just not my thing. So I'm kind of screwed up here. It's a quandary. It's a depressing quandary.
Bloomberg would come in a heartbeat if he thought people would vote for him. I do think that he's done the stuff and he knows it would be wasted money. I can't. There is some talk, even yesterday, about them just pitching this thing to Paul Ryan, right? But I think the anger that would take place if they just hand it to a guy who hasn't run. I don't think any of us have realized that that's ever been a possibility.
No. This open convention thing I never heard of before.
Yeah.
It's been around, though. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be like, when people would, like, travel around by, like, wagon trains and shit, they were like, well, we'll just pick someone and then let the two run. Now we've gotten it in the back of our head that we're a democracy, but it's never been that. We've never been a democracy. So people just found out the other day that a lot of the delegates that were won by Trump, Cruz's people have got back and switched them over already. I forget what state, like Arizona or something. And then everyone, even people on TV going, can that happen?
What?
Can you just go in after the election? And you're like, yeah, you can.
And Trump will still run as an independent, and that'll be a mutiny because all the white males will follow him. And so it's going to be a clusterfuck.
Well, the thing is, that could start a new party. That could start I don't think Trump ever gave a shit about abortion. He got pushed into that talk.
That was such a nightmare watching him try to back that up. Oh, God. He had 5 different answers in 2 days.
It's like when you're sitting there talking with one of your friends at a bar, and they suddenly just start to flip. You're like, dude, we're having this argument, and you're on my side. How did that happen?
What he should have said is, I believe in late-term abortion, like all the way up to 5th grade, because some kids suck, and we need to thin the herd. That's what I said.
It would be easier if they put that out.
Tom Kyer's in studio. Tom's new book, Bad Dad, A Guide to Pitiful Parenting, is available now at major bookstores and on Amazon.com. And you can see Tom perform this Friday, April 8th at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. Go to thewilbur.com for tickets. And on Twitter, it's at Tom Cotter Comic.
It's a homecoming.
It is a homecoming. They've lifted the restraining order, and I get to come home, which is nice.
Do you still go do Red Eye? Is that
I just did it the other night. Yeah,
now, how's everybody at Fox? Because Fox is kind of broken apart on Trump, right?
Oh, yeah. Because Megyn hates him, Megyn Kelly or whatever, and so that's a big thing. And who's the guy in charge of Fox? His name escapes me.
Roger.
Ailes sided with her first, but now he realizes that Trump brings a lot of viewers, and it's kind of all messed up. Every time I've been on that show, Shalou is now the host. I say Trump is unelectable, and every time I go back, he throws it in my face and says, "Oh, he just won 4 more of these, primaries." So, God, I'm just befuddled, and I think everybody over there just doesn't know what's going on.
But that's like a united front that I was not expecting to have any issues there. Like it seemed, particularly I think from like the viewpoint of the left looking at the powerhouse that was Fox News,
and still is, by the way, in numbers.
Definitely. But to not see them, because that was the thing that was so powerful, was they were able to get on message, and they kind of like were unified under this one thing, and to see them fragmented over Trump is pretty wild.
It's almost like they wrote an apology. You know what I mean? Like, we thought you guys got your papers every day and just said it, but they were just a bunch of people who agreed with each other, and now they don't so much.
Yeah, the talking points are all over the place over there now. And they're unified in their hatred of the left, of course, and bashing Hillary, but they don't know. They're all over the map. I mean, so many of them wanted Rubio, and then Rubio fell by the wayside. Many of them early on, the talking heads over there were pro-Bush, and he left, and they don't know where they are right now. They're kind of spinning.
Well, I remember saying like a year ago, Bush and Hillary, this thing is locked. Why are we even wasting this money and time? The two parties have decided who they want. And now, Bush, what happened to him? No, first of all, the fact that the Bush family could be attacked by a Republican candidate, the entire Bush family, going all the way back, and then that guy get better numbers after doing that? It's craziness.
Yeah.
He besmirched Barbara Bush, who is a saint, I think. And, you can bash any of the guys, but Barbara Bush is, how do you mock her? And he did it, and his numbers went up.
He blamed Bush for 9/11.
Yeah.
He said it's his fault.
And in the room, he was booed that night, and he was like, these people are paid to boo. You'll see from my numbers that people will agree with me. And he was right on that.
He called McCain a pussy, and his number went up. I mean, how does that happen?
He literally
called Fiorina a dog, basically, and said, "Would you look at that face?" Numbers went up. It's unbelievable.
It's been phenomenal, and he's
this abortion thing that might be the one that sticks. But I've said that every time he's put his foot in his mouth.
I don't think that Cruz would necessarily disagree with what he said, though. I mean, what he said makes sense if you outlaw abortion, right? Which, why would you? But if you're going to do that, then you can't go have an abortion. You'd have to be punished for doing it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense. You could say, it doesn't make sense to arrest people for smoking marijuana unless you live in a state where that's outlawed. And then that thing is outlawed. You'd have a thing against it. So the fact that just showed that people who say that they're anti-abortion are like, but still.
You could see Chris Matthews getting an erection when he was digging that hole. And he was just so into him throwing himself under the bus with that statement. It was amazing.
And all he had to say is, shut up, Chris Matthews, because everyone hates Chris Matthews still.
Yeah.
Just shut up, Chris Matthews. You're just so annoying.
Why are you still here?
I don't know how Chris Matthews has ever kept his job.
He was the speaker at my college for graduation.
Oh, really?
Was he really? He sucked. His big message was get your foot in the door.
Yeah, he's right about that, though. You got to get your foot in the door.
The guy's right. Put in the door. Thanks, Chris. Then start to work your way up. You know? You work your way up for a while.
Network.
Those are words of wisdom, aren't they?
Start making more money.
Oh!
Find a nice girl for yourself.
We'll write that down.
Money.
You can Google clips of him snapping. Chris Matthews has snapped on many occasions on air.
Oh, he's out of his mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He just starts to talk crazy.
Yeah, he loses it.
And he would be the craziest person if it wasn't for Lawrence O'Donnell on that network.
Oh, they're all nuts.
Because I think he comes off even crazier. I think he does.
I think the only thing I watch on any of the news channels now is Bourdain driving around the world and eating funny food.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'll
On
go for
CNN,
that.
that's a great show. I stumble on that. I always stick with it when I get on that. Parts Unknown, it's called.
Yeah. And I'm like, is that really as delicious as he's saying? It looks like I saw an insect.
Who's he voting for?
Yeah. I'd vote for Bourdain right now.
He eats monkey brains. Anyone who eats monkey brains, he's got my vote.
Chris, you'll eat anything, right?
Yeah.
Is there one thing out there that you say that you couldn't eat?
I've always found like a portobello mushroom.
What? Really? Of all the things?
That's something that's sold in the supermarket.
I know,
It's delicious.
But for whatever reason, I think they're awful. They're just garbage.
So monkey brains, yes. Portobello
I would
mushroom.
eat a monkey brain over. I eat a fucking monkey brain burger over a portobello mushroom burger any day of the week.
Wow.
Have you tried it though, or you just think that it's not food?
I've taken a bite out of one, like a portobello mushroom, and I think it's
A
disgusting.
mushroom is technically fungus, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that?
Yeah, it's awful. It's just horrible fucking
Why?
food.
It's it's not even a very challenging mushroom. There's mushrooms out there with
It's
more.
a basic mushroom.
Yeah, it's a basic
How about
mushroom.
tongue? Would you eat tongue?
Yeah, I'll eat tongue. Yeah, sure.
I have. It's good.
You liked it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was at a graduation party. There were 3 tureens. One had meatballs, one had little beef strips, and one had this other pink meat. And the meatballs and the strips went away quickly. And at the end, I'm hammered, and I'm sitting there with a toothpick just stabbing the pink meat, eating it. And the caterer comes up behind me and says, finally, someone's eating the tongue. And I went, oh my God. I walked into the woods to vomit, and I swear to it's a graduation party. As I'm vomiting, I look over, and my friend Peter Morris is tagging my Spanish teacher in the woods as I'm throwing up. I'm looking at that, and that moment will never escape my brain. That was it. I was vomiting tongue and watching my friend suck face with my Spanish teacher.
The beauty of it was he did just graduate. So,
He did. He was legal. It was fair.
She had a calendar. She was waiting when she could walk into the woods with him.
Well, that was my tongue story. I always thought if you ate tongue, would it lick your ass on the way out? It doesn't. It does not. No,
It doesn't happen that way.
It's not good.
But just like anything that is, I think, a little more challenging to the palate, if it's not done right, it could be really bad. Because I have had tongue and it was not good, but I've had it and it was great. So I think, I feel like gamey meats are like that. Like I've had really great venison, but venison done poorly is like the worst thing you've ever had because that flavor is so strong.
Well, the flavor is strong and the texture is much gamier than you used to.
Texture's big.
Yeah.
Is there anything in your mind that you were like, you could not eat?
Well, I had kangaroo, and the pouch was filled with cheese, and it was so.
Baked right in.
This is delicious.
That's a hot pocket, isn't it?
It really was. It's a kangaroo hot pocket. You know what? I have to say this. You know how the frog's legs?
Yeah.
Well, you eat around them, and you can really tell the leg,
the tendon. Like maybe you can. see
I mean, you're just looking at it, and it looks like you've eaten a scuba diver. You know what I mean? It's a very odd thing. But
Cousteau.
I know a lot of people who will just be like, I was eating chicken one day and I looked down and saw the bones and it just dawned on me.
Yeah.
And I've never had that aha moment yet.
Nope.
I just see it as chicken. I don't look at the bones and think of it like,
an
how
animal.
could I?
No, you're delicious is what I think. I wish I had more of you when I look at the fucking.
There was one food on my list that I said, under no circumstance
Portobello?
could I ever eat it. And then I did. So now I have nothing.
What was that?
The thing was a balut.
Oh, and you ate one.
I ate a balut.
I don't know.
which
Pardon my
is-
ignorance. What's a balut?
A balut is, I'm trying to think where it's a delicacy.
Is it Spain or
No.
is it Australia?
It's like maybe an Asian country.
What part of the animal?
So it is a fermented, fertilized duck egg. And so it is fertilized. So there is a kind of duck fetus inside of the egg. And I believe that they bury the egg underground.
Yeah, they do.
And then they cook it like that. And then when it comes out, you open the egg and there's a duck, baby.
Planned
duck.
Parenthood. Planned Parenthood.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah, that is challenging. Do you taste the beak? Does that get caught in your teeth or something?
It's because it's not quite developed, it's soft, so you can bite through the beak and the bones and everything.
Could not do it.
I actually did this in a shock jock show down in Florida and had people eating it, and people watching started throwing up.
Really?
Yeah.
And now you are doing this. Where did you eat this?
Well, so I worked at a hotel, and somebody was there, and they were from this country, and I can't remember what it is. If you Google balut,
it's the Philippines.
Philippines. There you go. So he was Filipino, and he had these duck eggs. He had the balutes, and he, had the kitchen prepare them, and we were all going to try it together. So I kind of felt like somebody was bringing it to you, and they were saying this is a delicacy, and I was aware that it was going to be really difficult, but I felt like...
Did you gag at all?
It was really bad.
Oh, really?
It was really bad.
Oh, it wasn't delicious.
No. So
I thought you had us lined up like you loved it.
No, well, here's the way he said. See, here's what he said. Okay, so first you crack the top of the egg, and he said, first you have to drink the juice off the top.
Already,
and
I'm
he said
gagging.
only if you don't drink the juice, then you're not going to like it. So like you have to at least put that in your mind. So I sipped the juice off of the top of this thing, and I got it. Like I understood it was fermented, but it kind of tasted like really good chicken soup, but a little bit funky. And he's like, "Okay, now bite into the egg," and that was horrifying. Like it was. Really challenging and really difficult. And the smell is so strong that it stayed in my sinuses, on my tongue for days. And I could not, I was washing my hands multiple times a day, but I could still smell this ducky funk. Like this
ducky funk?
Ducky fetus funk.
Funky dunk.
And it was really intense. But I felt like, you have the experience. You should try it if you have the opportunity to do it.
No, I should not. No, I should not. I concur with Ron. Ron, have you ever had Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah.
You have you?
Yeah.
That's something I said I probably could never do.
Yeah, when we were out west, that's the Bull's Balls.
Oh, yeah,
They sell them everywhere.
Yeah.
A hanging steak.
It just, again, it was that thing, instead of enjoying it, you had to do it on a dare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'll be a guy and do it. But
I did with the alligator. I had alligator, but it was so deep fried, it could have been anything.
Yeah.
It was deep fried and they garlic it up. It's, you know what I mean?
You can put
You're
that
like,
on anything. I'll eat it.
Yeah, and it's good. But who knows what it really tastes like? Because you're right, it is very fried. That's how I've had it. I've only had it very fried.
Yeah.
Listen to Ken in Wisconsin. See this. Go ahead, Ken.
Hey guys, how we doing today?
Hey.
Yeah, well, I live here in Janesville, Wisconsin. We do a game feed down at this bar all the time, and people bring in all these exotic meats and stuff. And one of my buddies, who's a cook there, he brought in guinea pigs.
Boy.
And
yeah, I know it's a tough one for Americans. Well, I actually did a little research on it, and in South America, guinea pigs, they eat them like we eat chicken. So I was like, all right, you know what? Keep an open mind. He threw them on the grill. He smoked them and barbecued them for probably about 2 hours. They were absolutely phenomenal. If the end of the world ever comes, I'm eating guinea pigs. I have no problem with it. They were delicious. They were awesome.
I know that they're delicious because they eat each other. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm like, they must taste good.
I find the term guinea pig offensive to Italian Americans, so I won't eat it out of a protest.
Hey, David, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddies. I wanted to say my wife and I are very adventurous with food, but one thing she won't eat olives of any kind. And on Veer's Feed, we have a restaurant, and it's an Asian place. It's really good. They serve half a pig head. It serves 3 or 4 people. We haven't gotten it yet, but it looks really good.
Now, what does your wife like? Olive oil?
Yep, loved it.
Yeah.
Doesn't like the texture, the fleshy texture of the olives. We won't eat them. But
olives are one of those things that seem to be very polarizing. Like people either
brand.
obsessed or they love them.
I don't eat black olives because I'm racist, but the other ones I enjoy. They're delicious.
I think it's like eating fingertips.
Yeah. I love them.
Fuck.
But somebody told me, like, I was trying to find out what it is about olives that they don't like. Yeah. And they claim that it was that they actually smell like feces to them.
They ruin a pizza when someone puts olives
I
on a
agree
pizza.
100%. I'll be like, I'm done. I'm done being a
you put guinea pig or olives on a pizza, I'm out. I'm not eating it.
You know, there was a girl in my neighborhood that ate an olive, and then they had to move away. So I don't know. That's the way I was told.
Right.
That she's moving away for a while because she ate an olive. So, Joe, you're from Minnesota. What's the weird Minnesota? Because you're tied in with that Norwegian and Swede culture, right?
Yeah, they lutefisk. It's a fish, and it's a traditional like Norwegian Swedish fish, but it tastes awful.
Now, maybe it was in Iceland with Anthony Bourdain, but it was one time that I saw him like totally grossed out by the local cuisine. And it had to do with this funky fish that they put in a jar and they hold it for
They bury it for a while, yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you have to bury your food, I want no part of it. I don't want to bury the food.
Yeah, you bury the dead. You don't bury something you're going to eat.
Yeah.
You know, haggis is another one. I'm Scottish. I won't eat it. I just won't do it. I know how it's prepared, and that's it.
Haggis is not like a sausage, right? It's just the
the intestine of the sheep stuffed with all kinds of disgusting stuff.
And you stuff the stomach lining.
Yeah,
is stuffed with the intestine and all that kind of stuff. I've never had it, but I feel like
at least try it.
Yeah, I would like to try it.
Yeah. You are much more adventurous than I am. Couldn't do it
because it seems like a sausage to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you like scrapple, I feel like if you're okay with scrapple, you probably would be okay with haggis.
But you fry the scrapple, where that haggis, I don't know how it's made. Like just
boiled.
That's going to be boiled in the stomach.
I'm not a big fan of boiled foods.
Yeah.
Just feel like
that's why Irish food sucks so bad.
Yeah,
It's just you just boil the flavor out of everything. That's it. Cabbage, corned beef, whatever you have.
I can't even smell the broth of that. It disgusts me. Just the broth of runoff ham soup. That's ham soup, and they won't call it that.
That's why they drink so much, because the food sucks so bad.
Yeah. Now, supposedly Ireland is getting better food because Europeans are coming there and opening up places, but the Irish cuisine will always be bad because they spent more time thinking about how to make the whiskey perfect.
Yeah.
That's where their real thoughts went.
Everything else afterthought.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, the potato famine, they only had potatoes to cook for centuries. So, I mean, after a while, how much can you do with potatoes?
Yeah, potatoes were the best tasting thing in Ireland for 300 years. And the second they had no potatoes, they had no food. There was nothing else there.
And again, it was buried. It's never good when you bury your food.
You just walk up to any place, potatoes? Yeah, I guess so. What kind of potato you want? They're not even making fries. Just boiled potatoes.
I like it softer.
Not even baked.
No salt or butter, please. Just as is.
Yeah, of course. What's butter? They had no idea what butter is. Pour some whiskey on that for you? Yeah, and the amount of time they think about whiskey is just constantly. Mark in Florida.
Yeah, we were on a vacation in Sicily when mad cow disease was going on, and so we told the guy who was driving us around that we really don't eat beef. And we wind up in this restaurant in this forest, and he orders food, and it shows up, and it looks like beef, and we go, we don't eat beef. And he goes, eat it, you'll like it. And we go, huh? So he goes, it's not beef, you're okay. So we take a bite, and it was delicious, and it turned out to be porcupine. It was phenomenal. Yeah, I highly recommend Sicilian porcupine. Really good.
The great thing is when you're done eating, then you just take one of the quills and start to work on your teeth.
Convenient.
Delicious. Delicious.
Yeah. Wow.
I never would have thought the porcupine would be good. Or we would be eating it over here.
Who knows? I mean, I was shocked. And the guy told a story that over the centuries, everybody invaded Sicily because it had a forest on it. And so if you needed masts for your ships back in, 2000 BC, you invaded Sicily, and they completely denuded it. And then after World War II, America reforested Italy, and the forest is now 50 years old, and the porcupines have come back, and they're eating them. So it's kind of
You know what? But everyone's thinking about invading again. because they have wood. Let's go there. They have wood now.
But once again, America saves the day. We came and reforested.
I don't know how we do it. I don't know how we pull it off. Well, I guess Trump is making us great again. That's what's going on.
And he's a prick like a porcupine. Hello,
He really
did I
is,
say that?
but a likable one.
Yeah.
Nate in Canada.
Hey, had a friend that was up north doing some work and brought back whale blubber, which is really eating a lot up there, but it is the most horrific thing you'll ever try.
What do you just do? Just throw it in a frying pan like
I mean,
it was
it's just
fried?
fat then, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just...
It's not even cooked. It's raw. And,
So you just chew it raw?
Yeah, and you chew it and you chew it and you chew it and you chew it, and then you throw up.
Then what?
You chew and chew and chew and puke and then keep chewing.
It's just there's no even description of the flavor. It's just I don't know. I'd rather.
I'd have to
starve.
throw it on a grill, just to push it around.
I mean, it's fat. It should.
Yeah.
I mean, it should. Once you cook it, it should be delicious.
It's fat.
I've had whale blubber before, but I was really drunk and I never called her again. Hello, Tom Cotter. Hope you're all week, everybody. Try the deal. Sorry.
Tom's new book, Bad Dad, A Guide to Pitiful Parenting, is available now at major bookstores and on Amazon. You can see Tom perform this Friday, April 8th at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. Go to thewilbur.com for tickets and more information.
All right, here's Steve in Connecticut to gross us out some more.
Thanks, Steve.
Hey, I can't outdo Gail's story. I'm ready to throw up myself.
I know.
Reminds me of in the 90s, I was in Germany on business, and we were in East Berlin. Well, what was formerly East Berlin. And we go to this restaurant. It was like a brewery type of place. And the guy who was German, who was our host, he says, you have to have this delicacy we have. And, they bring this thing out. It was literally rotten eggs. They take eggs, they're hard-boiled eggs, and then they ferment them in something. And by the time you get them to eat them, they turn completely black and runny. And we all had to eat this shit. And
why did you have to?
I don't know. It's a delicacy.
Could you be like this? Can I get some spoiled milk with this, though? I just want to.
It's offensive to the people who are serving it to you, isn't it? Isn't it a slap in the face if you don't try it?
I'd rather slap them right in the face. I would just smack them.
I was lucky. I was the only one that didn't get sick from the fucking thing. I don't know why, but it was awful. And I still remember it like it was yesterday, and Gail's right. I can still remember the smell when they took this shit out of a jar that they kept it in. And I don't think I'll ever forget it.
He's just suddenly like Quint from Jaws. Every detail. We wrote in eggs, spoiled, placed in front of us. 25 men went in. I was the only one that walked out. Still smell those eggs.
Fermented eggs, man. That's a theme.
We got to get ready to wrap this up. What do we got coming up on after us, Chris?
That's a check spot with Emma Willman. That's airing today at 3 p.m. on Raw Dog. Today, our guest is comedian Julia Rossi.
Oh, that should be a good show. And remind people about the Jim Norton Unmasked. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Unmasked with Jim Norton is happening Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance of free tickets.
Yes. It's great seeing you again.
Hey,
man.
thanks for having me. I was going to go have lunch after this. I will not. No.
No. Actually, go see your doctor.
I will.
Just in case.
I will. But thank you guys for having me on. This was great.
It's always fun to have you come by.
Always a pleasure.
And, of course, the book is Bad Dad. And
my dad was a great dad. I'm not besmirching my dad. It's
too late.
It's too late.
you put out something like Bad Dad, and that's going to follow you around.
I'm the bad dad, not my dad. Yeah.
Well, just like if you put out a book called Pedophile, everybody be like, oh, Tom. Sense. Yeah.
That's coming out next month, by the way.
Yeah. And then the Wilbur Theater, which is that's just the coolest, man.
That's a lot of fun. Love going back there.
And you taught us a lot about Long Island comedy and the money that they've made. Well, it's crazy.
I'm forgetting half of those people, too. It's an incredible line of a cast of characters up there that have really done well.
Yeah. And I really do. I just feel like it's the suburban upbringing and then easy train access into the city.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I concur.
I wonder how Jersey has done over the years. There's a lot of comics come out of Jersey.
Comics come out of everywhere.
Yeah.
But they seem like they have a little bit more of a scene than.
Oh, so they don't even have to come in? Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if that would be something that'd be interesting. Is there a state that just really has put out bad comedy? Just
bad comedy.
Just year after year.
Funny state.
Though right now I'm picking Nevada, but that's just for people that were born there, not the people that travel there.
Boston has an unfair advantage because it's all colleges, and a lot of guys go there to college, and that's where they start comedy. So they're not really from Boston, but that's just where they started.
All right, good stuff. Tom, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see everybody back in here again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!